You know, rightfully so, by the way.
Hi everyone.
Hello!
Hello, welcome to another Crackerbox stream. We are cracking open a whole bunch of Time Spiral Remastered and getting it straight up on the single side, aren't we, Trent?
Oh, very exciting. This is Dylan. He's going to be our card wench today, and my name is once again Trent. As everyone knows, I am your card man. We have a new follow actually by, help me out,
CSG 1977.
1977.
Coal seam gas 1977. What?
19 minutes ago. Thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate that one. As Dylan mentioned, as Dylan shot out at the speed of light, mind you, we are opening Time Spiral Remastered. We got it back in stock, so we decided that we were going to open it for the store as well. We've got a whole case worth. So we've got 6 boxes here today. And we're going to be opening as many as possible, hopefully all, over the course of this stream. As long-time viewers of the show will know, it's very unlikely Trent gets through 1 box in a 4-hour episode, let alone 6.
Please fucking kill me.
Please kill me.
That's 100% what's going to happen.
We were doing that before the stream started. We were saying, hey, I was like, maybe we don't open all these now and do 2 streams. And I was like, maybe. All right. So, yeah.
So we're going to be cracking these live. I'm going to be putting them into the inventory as we go. Let's crack these open.
Rickness, hello, buddy. Hello, my friend.
What is up,
always
Rickness? The link is in the chat too, so if you want to get these cards straight away, the link is at singles.boardgames.com.au. There is a dedicated collection in there for Time Spiral Remastered. Trent, we should dink a pack.
We should dink.
We should dink.
I'm gonna get the camera a little bit over this way so they can see us dinking the packs. Dink. That's our first dink pack.
I'll open one with you.
Yeah. And then we're going to get these cracked open. These ones I just noticed do not have those little tabs at the top that you see with the New Age boosters.
No, but they open off the line very easy. Yeah.
They're really easy opening packs. So if you guys like opening packs, like that's actually your like want and your goal, then this is for you.
The case should be back there as well for you to throw the rubbish into.
Oh yes. You know I'm not going to hit. I already missed it. All right. I've already missed. So, as you saw with the last stream we did, we were opening set boosters and collector's boosters. So we were going through all the cards we were opening. Oh, that's a bit bright immediately. Let me just lift this up just a bit. Hang on. Is that tightened?
You can do this. It's here.
Of course, the camera itself. Oh god, I'm so silly. There we go. So we were opening every pack, showing you every single card inside. With these are more like normal draft boosters, so we're going to talk about too many of the commons and uncommons. Some of these uncommons will make it into the singles website later on, just because they are of high value, but we do want to go through them all, and we can't do them all on stream now, so we do have some really cool stuff. Oh, already I'm looking at an Angel of Salvation already, so that's a freaking awesome card. I love anything with Flash. I think Flash is just like an obviously super powerful keyword in the game. Being able to cast things at instant speed makes them really, really good, especially in Commander, where there's so much downtime. Having access to Flash is great.
Fix up this focus for you.
Oh, sorry, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. And then Angel of Salvation is also a Convoke creature, so a mono-white card that allows you to cast it with zero produced mana. And it says when it ETBs, you prevent the next 5 damage to be dealt to any number of targets divided as you choose. So there's a little bit of diplomacy. You could easily say, I'll save your life, but you owe me one kind of deal. Or I'll save your creature, but you owe me one. And then, a Blighted Woodland as well. So very, very cool. Blighted Woodland. That's a really good land.
That's one of the time-shifted ones, right?
Yeah, that's a time-shifted guy. So that's the terminology there for the purple iconed boys there.
So for anyone that wants to know about what the time-shifted stuff is, what it is it's newer cards that have been time-shifted back into the old border.
The old border. So it makes them kind of look older. The old time-shifted stuff was the same kind of deal where they were introducing newer cards as those old borders. But now this new remaster set is getting some of the newer cards that we would recognize from like modern Magic. The cards like Baral, Chief of Compliance, and giving them that cool OG twist. So right here we've got ourselves a Simian Spirit Guide in the brand new art. I love this artwork. This Simian Spirit Guide looks absolutely amazing. So if you don't know this card, exile from your hand, add a red. It's been a huge staple in every format it's available in, except for Commander so far. Just because in Commander, obviously, like 1-for-1 mana is still super useful.
Still big in Modern though, right?
It definitely is huge, yeah. It's really big.
That's been added.
Amazing card, Simian Spirit Guide. We'll see a few more of those. Got ourselves a time-shifted Flicker Wisp. Awesome card. Lets you flicker your own permanents or your opponents. You can flicker them and get rid of them for an entire turn. They can't be targeted by things, or just like save yourself. There's lots of options there.
Really good for that instant speed recursion from the graveyard and then dropping anything that's attacking you.
Yeah. Got Rift Bolt. This is a Pauper staple. Loved Rift Bolt. Love it to bits. Really good card. And then we've got Cloud Key, which is an awesome, awesome card. Severely underplayed in Commander, in my opinion. It's a 3-mana artifact that reads, as it enters the battlefield, you choose artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery, and spells you cast of that type cost 1 less to cast. So it's kind of like it's a bit of a Herald's Horn, but it's for all creatures kind of deal, without that little, like, getting it.
It's a Herald's Horn, but your type is card type.
It's a card type, yeah, not a super type. So really, really cool. And then you could do it. Also, it's really good like in an artifact deck where you can like make all of your artifacts cheaper, and then you can make multiple cloud keys, and the cloud keys are making everything cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and it's really, really cool. Do some crazy stuff with that. So I've got here an Extirpate, split second instant to let you exile a card out. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
There you go.
I'm trying to get that's the angle now. Perfect. So let you kill an exile card in a player's graveyard and pull all copies of that from their deck. Really, really cool. Got ourselves a Blood Braid Elf. I'm really
Shifted.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that. That's the time shifter one.
Yep.
Freaking awesome card. Just trying to make sure I get that centered. Perfect. Some really cool cards there already. So, yeah, tell us in the chat if you've managed to play any Time Spiral Remastered draft, or if you played much of these cards in Commander. Any cards in Time Spiral that you were like, ooh, I didn't even know that existed. There's got to be plenty. So, let us know. Oh, I've already pulled out a nice mana type. This is a really cool card. I recommend it. This is a common.
Is it a Mana Tithe a common?
I know it's a common in this set, which is really, really cool. I think Mana Tithe is really, really valuable. I think people don't give it enough credit. A lot of people are going to tap out to do certain things, and you can really punish them like very, very quickly and hard for.
It's definitely something that people don't expect if you're playing like a white deck in Commander.
Oh yeah,
like,
people
being
don't
able to be
expect
like, oh, it's turn 3. I'm just gonna Mana Tithe you. Fuck it.
The amount of times I've seen like a lapse of certainty or a Mana Tithe like go unanswered, it's like, oh, so good. Also got here just a Pongify. It's a cool card. Love Pongify. Oh, thank you. You put it up there. Beautiful. What a man. So Pongify, looking awesome.
Monkey.
Look at this monkey.
My God, that's a $3 card.
Yeah, it's Pongify. So Pongify is really unique in the sense that it's a rapid hybridization, and it's one of the only cards in blue that full-on destroys a creature.
Yeah.
And it costs 1 mana, and it's an instant. In every single mono blue deck I've ever run, I promise you this, Rapid Hybridization and Pongify have been 2 of my first includes in every single mono blue deck. They are absolutely phenomenal. If you don't own them, get them. And if you don't own them, jump on the Singles website.
It's like one of the few absolute removals of mono blue.
It's really, really good. Then we got a Sedge Sliver. There is like a theme of exiling creatures now coming out of blue, where they like permanently exile creatures, turn them into 4/4s and such, but that's a really good one. So Sedge Sliver, it's a very unique sliver, gives you the ability to regenerate this permanent for a single black, which is really, really good, and it gives a little anthem. Sedge Sliver is very strange, but very good.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, mentioned him before, now he's back. It's Baral, Chief of Compliance. Very, very, very cool card.
Really fun commander.
He's a really fun commander. I think that like his first effect is probably more important to you than his second effect.
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of people look at the second effect and they put so many counterspells in the deck that they don't actually have a consistent way to win.
Yeah.
And the deck ends up like sitting there and controlling the board state and being a bit of a police or a bit of a judge. And then what happens is one of the players goes, I'm kind of sick of the Baral player. He's kind of just annoying us, right? Everyone goes, yep, and they kill him. But if you're focused on the Storm element of just making your cards cost 1 less, and maybe using things like Sakashima to make more Barals than just the one, he could turn out really, really powerful.
And using, what is it? God, what is the Kaladesh artifact? I forget now. Aetherflux Reservoir.
Aetherflux Reservoir is a good example. Yeah, really, really, really cool stuff where you can easily gain a bunch of life as well.
Yeah, a lot of times I've seen Baral decks and like their only win con is Expropriate, and I'm like, you're a terrible human being.
You're a terrible human being. Safi Eric's daughter, chilling out next. She's really, really awesome. Great card, great card. Dylan knows full well how good Safi Eric's daughter is. I'm not going to go into it. All right, so
I will never get over that hardcast episode.
Never ever. So we've got a time-shifted Rakdos charm. Now, Rakdos charm, in my opinion, is one of the best charms in the entire game. I would argue it's actually like next to Boros charm as far as value. It's up there. And just being able to have each creature deal 1 damage to its controller at instant speed. If the Cranko player puts a bunch of impact tremors triggers on the stack, and then you just kill them with the Rakdos charm in response, which is very hilarious. Drowned Lich Lord is a very cool commander. He's a classic. He was on, when I first started playing Commander, I think Drownlu was on every like 3rd or 4th table I played on. Because it was just such a popular commander back then. What he did was so unique. So, yeah, really, really recommend that. He's freaking awesome, Drownlu. So if you haven't seen it before, he lets you flashback your instant and sorceries out of your graveyard. And he can't take damage in the sense that he snakes you sack permanents instead. So it's a time-shifted Stonehorn just chilling out there. Beautiful, beautiful. So this card's really cool. When it ETBs, your opponent skips the next combat phase. I play Stonehorn Dignitary inside of my Feather deck because Stonehorn Dignitary lets me kind of constantly fog players if I need to with flickering him, and then putting the card back in my hand on the end of the resolution. Sengir Nosferatu is a cool example of a card trying to be like a little bit more exciting than it needs to be. It turns itself into a bat and then back into a vampire, which is very cool aesthetically. It's got a very cool theme. Harmonic Sliver. Now, this is an uncommon, and it's an uncommon because it was an uncommon in the past, so they didn't want to make it a rare, but this has to be one of the most unbalanced slivers out there. This sliver can just, like, you see this early in the game, and some people just, like, say, okay, well, I'm not versing this. Like, I'm not winning. I'm not going to deal with this. Like, if you verse certain decks, they can just be totally turned off by Harmonic Sliver. Some decks, like the red, blue, and white varieties, have a big problem with getting to mana that don't involve, like, artifacts or enchantment-based ramp, and it can be very, very dangerous when you make 4 slivers and you kill all of their ramp. And your slivers are also tapping for mana. So your slivers are also ramping you. It's a big difference. So we've got here a Grinning Ignis. Very first card I found in the pack. It's a common, but it's very, very cool. You're going to chuck a couple of these in the system. People need them. They're very, very cool.
They also go infinite with Birgi.
Birgi, the Storyteller. Yeah, very, very cool. God of Storytelling. Yeah, they go very easily infinite with her. And I mean, Birgi's a crazy, crazy commander. So it's no question. It's no surprise that she's going infinite with cards like that. We've got to Walk the Eons, 6 mana, take an extra turn, and it's got buyback, sack 3 islands. If you've got a lot of islands, man, you're taking basically like enough turns to win the game on the spot. 6 mana, enough islands, and you're set for life. So very, very cool card. Really recommend Walk the Eons. Very good card.
Malkagos has dibs on that. Well, Malkagos, you can get it by jumping online at that link I just put in the chat.
Get it right now, Malkagos, because I like the idea of dibs, man. I love dibs, but I don't think that's going to work in this context. Now, Fibblethip the Lost, one of the coolest commanders to come out of War of the Spark, from memory he was.
Yeah.
Very, very cool commander. I love him. And that time shifted is amazing. Now, I'm going to get him a little bit closer to the camera here, just a little bit, so he's not total. Oh, yeah, get him in focus. Just because I think, like, when you look at, like, Jesper Icing, who's the artist for this, one of the best artists in, like, Magic just out there. Look how instantly this, like, translates to this border. Like, this looks like you would have pulled it in 98, or you would have pulled it, like, really early in the life of the game. This really just suits this kind of border, and just amazing looking cards. I didn't really stop on Burrell, and I will for a second. I know before Dylan starts groaning at me. I'm going to stop on Burrell for a quick second, just because I want you to see this. Like, this artwork. Now, this is by Wesley Burt. Now, kudos to Wesley, because this artwork is absolutely phenomenal. And it's just full of theme. You've got that blue underneath him to kind of make him rise above Chandra's fire. Like, it's just so awesome. And then in this kind of old frame, look at him. He looks like he fits. There's a lot of cards nowadays, like modern Magic cards, which you just wouldn't be able to fit on one of those borders without it looking super weird. So I'm glad they went hard and decided to pick and choose their right art without having
any of the Mirrodin block Dakon stuff.
Oh yeah, all that stuff. So I've got here a Venser, Shaper Savant, one of the best blue cards in the 99 of all time. Just amazing. So in ETBs, you bounce a spell or a permanent to its owner's hand. I've done some crazy stupid stuff with Venser and I always forget the name of this card. I always call it Dockside Extortionist, but it's never called that.
I think you were doing some stupid shit with that in Tema Sabertooth at one point.
Oh, I was, yeah, in my Rashmi deck. Venser with Tema Sabertooth is crazy in Rashmi. Very, very good. And then I've got a time-shifted Bedlam Reveler. Now, Bedlam Reveler was really big in the Eldritch Moon, Standard set. Oh, there we go. In the Eldritch Moon Standard, but it didn't really show much out of Commander, and I think that's a travesty, because it's a 2-mana prowess 3/4 that lets you discard your hand and draw 3 cards that you pick back up a new hand. I think it's, like, disgustingly underrated. I think in decks like Riel the Everwise, this card shows up. There are decks where it does really show up, and there's decks where it doesn't really show up, and I still think if it doesn't really show up, it's still going to show up. So, that's Bedlam Reveler. I think that card's really, really good, so.
Definitely from the Madness era.
Definitely from the Madness era, absolutely, yeah. It was really interesting where it's kind of got this, one less cards reach its source card in graveyard. It's kind of like a weird Delirium style of effect, like a really cool, like, kind of stormy deck. Because it is an 8-drop by, like, intrinsically, so if you have that with Sunbird's Invocation, and you cast it as, like, a 2-drop, it's pretty good. Speaking of, Consuming Aberration, see? Check this one out. So that's the same kind of time shift to Consuming Aberration. Absolutely phenomenal looking. Love these cards. They're very, very cool.
I got a fun story about Consuming Aberration.
Tell us about it.
All right. So every year we do a.
Here we go. I know this one.
Every year we do like an Iron Mer challenge, which is like a spin on the Iron Man, right? Where we have a box full of chaff that we want to get rid of in time for the new year. So what we do is we draft. We basically take all the chaff, put it in a box, and mix it up, and build draft packs out of it. And then what we do then is everyone brings in 6 rares, 2 for each pack, right? And that's their buy-in, essentially, into the event. Because as you play the game, as things enter your graveyard, you have to tear them up.
Tear them up.
And then every time you win, you get whatever's left of your opponent's cards and then continue to build your deck to keep it alive, right? Our first ever Ironmer, someone bought a Consuming Aberration because they were like, this is hilarious.
Didn't they bring quite a few to put into the draft? I remember like they brought like maybe 6 of them. And they put them all into the draft.
No, they brought like a whole bunch of other like graveyard requiring stuff, like a lot of like milling stuff.
Oh, yep.
It was so funny and so wrong.
So great and so not great at the same time.
What the fudge is up, other buckets?
What the fudge is up, other buckets?
What's up, Morgan?
Hey, Morgan. How you going? We're opening some Time Spiral Remastered. It's a cracker box today. I mean, you can see that on stream, but I just want to say hello.
Oh no, I lost my thing.
No, you've lost your thing! Dylan's gonna get back his thing while I open even up more. I'm opening up some boosters in the background while Dylan tells that story, so I have a bit of a backlog of cards to show you. So just going through these cards. Found some really cool stuff. If you didn't know as well, there's a really cool kind of like a rebel sub-theme that they're like trying to kind of push in this one. So, alright, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, let's go.
So I've got here a Hive Stone. So 2 mana artifact creatures you control are slivers in addition to their other types. Lets you turn everything. Reading it out for the vision impaired, I dig it. Yeah, that's it. So Hivestone, really cool cards. And this card's, I love Hivestone when you're playing, like, I played a deck, Katie's the Strategist, where I played Bant Slivers, and Hivestone made himself into a sliver, which is obviously very, very cool. I've got a time-shifted Slimefoot the Stowaway, one of Dylan's more favorite commanders. What a cool guy.
So much fun playing Slimefoot.
Yeah, he is as they say, Dylan, he is a fun guy.
No, a fungus.
Damn it. He's only the one. He's only the one. All right, here I've got a Magus of the Future. Very cool card. You may play the top card of your library. You may look at the top card of your library, sorry, and you may cast and play lands on the top of your library, which is very cool. So obviously just like the Magus version of Future Sight. But yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. So we've got 2 more so far. Simian Spirit Guides.
So 2 Simian Spirit Guides?
That's 2 Simian Spirit Guides. I'm holding on to
add in.
Yep, I'm just going to show them the screen here. 2 more Simian Spirit Guides. They're great stuff.
Cool.
I've got a copy of Ponder in the Time Shifted.
That's so good for Time Shift.
Isn't that so good, Time Shift? You see what I mean? Like, they really worked hard to pick the right arts. They also could have given them new art to make them look older, but I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they went with, like, these artworks. They really could, like, really could represent them. We've got a uncommon copy of Crowsand Grip, which, oh my goodness, it's such a huge reprint for this format. Like, Crowsand Grip is so important for Commander. If you're not currently playing Crowsand Grip in your green decks, you're doing something quite wrong.
It's a staple.
It's a staple. I've got another copy of Drownu here. Pulled another Drownu Lichlord. He's chilling. He's based. He's vibing. So again, he's letting you cast those instant sources from the graveyard, giving them flashback, letting you cast those. Very, very cool.
All right, so Trent, discussion time.
All right.
What would you say is the set that had the biggest, outside of Commander releases, what was the set that had like the biggest impact on Commander?
The set that had the biggest impact on Commander.
All right,
well, the lowest hanging fruit I can think of, the first art I can come with is, I would say, Dominaria. That is the Dominaria set from, I think, 2015, 2014, I think it was, somewhere in that area.
Like 2015, 2016.
Maybe 16, yeah, close to 16. That set, in my opinion, really kind of pushed what we were allowed to do with Commanders and in Commander. And I think that set was the first set where we finally saw like people like Gavin and such get their kind of toes into the like the set building and into the standard format and saying, hey, let's get our Commander players in here. Let's get our Commander players buying this product. Let's give them something to stick their teeth into. So my answer would be, I think Dominaria, but it definitely like, what do you think, Dylan? What do you think?
Yeah, look, Dominaria certainly like opened up the realm to uncommon legendaries. I don't think we had too many uncommon legendaries before Dominaria.
Oh, hardly any at all. Remember that Pauper Commander is used without legendaries because they just basically didn't exist.
But in terms of like direct sets, I mean, some of the biggest artifacts I see played all came out of like Scars of Mirrodin.
Yeah, Scars of Mirrodin era, so like Mirrodin Besieged, Scars of Mirrodin, like New Phyrexia.
Yeah.
That
Because you got the swords, you've got your Dark Steel stuff, you've got
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like that was definitely like as far as like some powerful cards being introduced to Commander. But here's my question here: do you think cards like the swords? Do you think they were designed for Commander, or do you think they were just designed with Commander in mind at all? How do you feel about that?
I don't think Commander was even on the scene back then.
See, that's what I was thinking. Because I don't know. Like they definitely impacted Commander super heavily because they were some of the better things. Like Sword of Feast and Famine is still an absolute staple, and you see it in decks all over the world. And
I think there's only like 2 or 3 swords you don't play at all now.
That's right. There's very, very few like swords you won't play, and I think 2 of the swords you don't really play came out of Modern Horizons 1.
Yeah.
They weren't. They're not exactly the old ones. Like War and Peace, Feast and Famine. They're both fine. War and Peace is fine. Fire and Ice, really good. Fire and Ice was always really, really good. Being able to ping a thing for like shock something and draw a card. That was always really, really good. So, yeah. What else was like a set? Because when we look at I look at other sets like
I mean, you can even argue that things like Modern Horizons.
Yep, Modern
were
Horizons.
strong influences on Commander, but mainly in like the competitive meta scene more so. Like
that's what I would say.
I don't
too.
think it changed all decks, but I think it definitely changed.
Well, here's the thing,
It
right?
changed. It shifted the meta around what decks get played, but I don't think it shifted the overall deck building of Commander.
Well, here's my point here, right? Just to build off of that. In my opinion, a set benefits Commander when it introduces stuff that I can put into the game that I've been playing for a very long time.
Yeah.
What I don't like about the Modern Horizons stuff was that what it introduced was new commanders that shaped up how powerful the game can actually be.
Yeah, that's
Things
true.
like Yawgmoth, Hogak, and Urza are 3 very, very powerful commanders, both in their own respective formats and Commander. So I think there was one of these things where it's like there was
Even Morophon, like
even Morophon,
changing up 5-color tribal.
Absolutely. There wasn't like or at least introducing it for a lot of like tribes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: it's like they were powerful, but it's like I only found new decks in Modern Horizons. All I found was like, here's this new commander, here's the new deck build on it, here's the new commander. And it's like I never saw, well, not never, but I saw a huge lack in people putting new cards into their commander decks that already operated. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like it wasn't many upgrades.
It was more changes at the helm than it was changes in the deck building.
Exactly. Now, there were those examples of cards in Modern Horizons 1 that did see those play, like Force of Negation and such like that were just like massively impactful to CDH and massively impactful to Commander overall.
But we're mainly like just extras of Force of Will.
Look, and that's another thing. It's like, if you look at like what the, if you look at like what the, Ikoria decks. Ooh, here I got a card. That is a time-shifted Panharmonicon. Check that out. See, again, that's a Kaladesh card, just like Baral was. But look how perfectly it instantly fits in here. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it just works. It just works. Cards absolutely amazing. So time-shifted cards are worth like a good amount, and then the foils go up some amazing amount. So I'd like to know, if this is how much does this cost still, and how much is it up on our store?
Panharmonicon regular is $12,
And
the near mint foil is $133.50.
More than 10 times the amount. How crazy is that? All right. So Panharmonicon, just chilling. We also got a Pulmonic Sliver. You may have seen a couple of slivers so far. There is a resurgence of slivers. They got printed in the first Time Spiral set. So all of those slivers got reprinted in this Time Spiral set. And Pulmonic Sliver was one of the weirdest slivers that you don't really see. Where it gives all
those little gas balls on it.
Little gas balls. So all slivers have flying, which is kind of good in the white variant. And then all slivers have, if this permanent you put into a graveyard, you may put it on top of its owner's library instead, which is pretty cool. So I wouldn't argue that it's a bad card, it's just a weird card. 5 mana Sliver is already hard enough to justify more often than not. More often than not. Mages of the Moon. First Sliver. Mages of the Moon. Very amazing card. So I think that like rolling back on that point, I think what like Fierce Guardianship and Deflecting SWAT and the cards that let you cast them free if you had your commander, obviously they are in a commander set, but they are way more impactful than the cards like Force of Negation and such. I've got a time-shifted Tauran Sky Summoner. I got a nice pile of cards now while we're chatting, so. Here we've got a Life and Limb in the rare. Very cool. Life and Limb is a card that actually has like a infinite, so an endless combo that you can't get out of unless you have your own interaction. Where it's like this makes everything into sapling creatures, and then there's cards that say you get to all forests and all saplings are 1/1 green saplings and forest lands. That's right. So it turns forests into creatures, and it's creatures that
And it turns your saplings into forests.
And it turns saplings into forests, and they're creatures that make saplings when lands enter, and the saplings themselves are lands. So they just go off with each other, and unless you interact with it, sometimes you can't stop. There's a mirror entity now. This card is absolutely phenomenal. It's a time-shifted variant. Absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, be careful with Life and Limb. It's very good. It's very cool, but just be careful with it.
That makes me want to rebuild Slimefoot then.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Slimefoot.
Because I had a
really,
lot
really
of landfall stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Now, on the cover of most of the packs, we've got the Stuffy Doll. We've seen it. So the Stuffy Doll's coming out. Very cool card. An absolute classic. I'm glad they used the old art for Stuffy Doll too. The new art is
Indestructible. As it enters the battlefield, choose a player. Whenever it is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to chosen player.
Yeah, it's a classic. There's a few cards like this now, like Brash Taunter.
Brash Taunter is so much fun.
So much good. Yeah, it's so really good. But it's also like a red card. It's really good, but it's a red card. This is in any deck you want. So really good. And you can cast it no matter what. And of course, that indestructible keyword is really good on all of these kind of cards.
I wonder if that'll go in Saheeli.
That's a tempting one. I like that.
I'm going to make 100 copies of Stuffy Doll. They all have haste. Tap them.
They all have haste. All right. So I've got here a time-shifted Primeval Titan. Very cool card. Now this card is actually banned in Commander. I'll tell you why. So it's a trample of 6/6 for 6. It says when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may search your library for up to 2 land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So this can easily do some silly stuff, like it can do the Thespia Stage and the Dark Depths. It can do things like the Urborg and the Cabal Coffers. It can do things like, it can go up with like Field of the Dead. It can go for the Lotus Blooms like that. It's just, going for non-basic lands here does push it over the edge just a little bit.
So question, would that card saying search for 2 basic lands, would that be unbanned?
I think that would make, if it errata to basic lands, I think absolutely this card would see errata. Would come off the ban list if it saw errata, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it is 6 land, so it's 6 mana. So
it's 6 mana, you get 2 land. If it attacks, you get 2 more land. They always enter tapped. It's just there's some crazy. It's just crazy value. This card got banned a long time ago, and it is a reference of it's kind of a victim of its time. Where green was the go-to color in Commander because you had cards like this and Sylvan Primordial that just meant that you were so easily able to just outvalue your opponents that if you didn't bring green decks, at least green including decks, you were at a disadvantage almost.
Not to mention that back when that was made, like non-basic lands weren't as utility as they are now.
That's exactly right. Yeah, they weren't as utility, and
I think we only had fetches and some of like the high market and the weirder stuff around that.
Yeah, we had some really powerful stuff. We did have obviously you can go for things like Strip Mine as well back then.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing as well. You can go for a land and then you can go for Strip Mine and just answer what your opponent wants to put on the battlefield as well, which is really crazy. So card is just a little bit too good. Just a little bit.
Malkigos says even back then you could tutor Cabal Coffers Urborg. Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there's plenty of options there as well. So I've got here a copy of a foil Reality Acid. This is the first foil we've pulled that I think that has some kind of value. This is a common in the set, but Reality Acid is a really cool card. It's very unique. So it's when it leaves the battlefield, enchanted opponent's controller sacrifices it. It's got Vanishing 3, so it gets sacrificed after 3 turns. But in decks like Brago can flicker this. And when it leaves the battlefield, it makes them sacrifice the permanent, and it comes back to the battlefield, and you put it on a different permanent.
even on the trigger of the last vanishing counter removal, when that triggers on the stack, you can then flicker it.
Flicker it, exactly, and then it leaves the battlefield because it doesn't actually go to the graveyard. It does kill itself, that's its own design, but you can just flicker it to remove it and then put it back on. So very cool. I've got a copy of Ion Chronicler here, who's a card you do not see very much. Ion Chronicler. It's a 5 mana star, so it's got like an XX kind of power and toughness, where its power and toughness is each equal to the number of cards in your hand. And then you can suspend it X3 and a blue, but X can't be 0. And whenever a time counter is removed from it while it's exiled, you draw a card.
So you kind of want to suspend it for as much as you can.
Yeah, I like the idea of just suspending it for a turn, just to draw a single card, and then it comes out for the same cost. But you can just suspend it for a very long time and then never expect to summon it, and just draw a card every turn for a long time. If you, for example, if you make a ton of mana that's impulsive, something like Mana Geyser, and you can't use it, You put it all into an
Stacking,
Aeon Chrono slot
stacking the Aeon Chrono, and then you
Yep.
just got an extra card draw per turn.
every turn, but like for a long time, and it's very hard for your opponents to interact with because it's in the exile zones. It's not like a Phyrexian Arena where they can just be like, all right, I'll just Nature's Claim that. It's very hard to interact with. They randomly cleansing Nova, and you just lose your card draw because your opponent had a very good board state. Like, uh-oh. So there's none of that's gonna happen. So you have to worry about that. We've got another copy of Kervek the Merciless chilling out here. He's a non-foil. He's just chilling. He's just vibing. Kervek.
He's not as bad as new Kervek.
Yeah, no, actually, I think Kervek the Merciless is a really good card. I think there's a really cool deck around it. I know there's one of the players.
It's a very Rakdos-y deck.
It really is. There's a player at our local, Shelly, who plays a Kervek deck that's all about like whenever you cast spells, unless she requires to make a decision, Shelly will always allow her opponent, whoever casts a spell, to choose where the damage goes. So the blood's off their hands, in other words. And I'm like, man, it's your card. Blood's still on your hands, but sure. Like, but it's very cool. It's a very good deck, and they have a lot of fun with it. And they're a lovely player to play with. So it's always like really high quality. Treasure Cruise in the time shift as well. One of my favorite cards in the game. 7 and a blue with Delve, so it usually only costs 1 blue, and it's draw 3 cards. Ancestral Visions. That's pretty good. Ancestral Recall. Very, very cool.
You're not really pulling shit out of your graveyard in mono blue.
No, that's right. You can also just get a bunch of like dead lands you had to discard after you played Blue Suns or something like that. So there's some options. We've got one of the weirder cards reprinted in the set, Miranda Petroglyphs. So this is a
Muraganda.
Muraganda Petroglyphs, which is creatures with no abilities. So tokens more often than not.
Vanilla Anthem.
But vanilla creatures get +2/+2 for 4, which is actually pretty high value. But again, they don't.
If you're watching this and you're like, why would you play that? Never undervalue the power of a 3/3 sapling.
That's true. Never undervalue the power of a 3/3 sapling. Like when you've got tokens, man, it goes off. We've got a time-shifted Zealous Conscripts, one of the best cards ever. Kiki Jiki called that he wants his girlfriend back. So definitely get Zealous Conscript involved.
Kiki called. All right. Well, while you're gonna open some more, do you want to just put those cards on the screen so that we have something there? For
Well, actually, I'm not done yet. I was just opening one.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got a backlog now. I'm prepared.
Oh, you got a backlog?
I'm set, dude. I've got a Chromus Memorial hanging here, dude. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. So, but you can go ahead and have a chat. And I'll put some cards here anyway, because like here's some stuff that we've seen so far. So I'll put some cards. A Chromus Memorial just chilling there. That's a pretty cool card. It's pretty good. The Zealous Conscripts, obviously, very, very cool. We got cards like Primeval Titan. Go ahead.
We had the discussion about sets, right? What about blocks? Like, what blocks do you think are like some of the influential?
So I think the first, my immediate answer would definitely be like the original Darksteel block. Now that's hard to use as an example because it's so old, but I would say because it was just so impactful to Magic as like the entire game is concerned, I think by definition it was very impactful to Command.
So for anyone who's watching that's only recently got into Magic, blocks were a thing that that went away about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, about that time.
Essentially what it was you would have several sets designed to interact with each other, basically. So for instance, there was a Khans of Tarkir, there was a Tarkir block, and inside of that Tarkir block we had Khans of Tarkir, Fate Reforged, and Dragons of Tarkir. And every year would essentially be one block. So we would go to one plane and we would explore the plane entirely.
And it would be the entire story over the course of those blocks.
Blocks, yeah.
Like the Khan Fate Restored, and then Dragons was like, it's a story that you're following Sarkhan. So it was very cool.
And those blocks typically had like a mechanic that flew throughout it. Like it had a thing that tied it all together.
Yep.
My argument would be, oh, what a nice sliver.
It's a really cool metallic token.
That's very HR Geiger.
It's very HR Geiger, no lie at all. It's Carl. This is Carl Critchlow. Carl Critchlow made this one, but you know, we can see the inspiration. It's very beautiful. Just keep going, sorry.
So in terms of blocks, I would argue that like the sets that have very strong high level mechanics, like high level mechanical influence as a block would probably like be the best one. So for instance, like Kaladesh, right? Kaladesh was about artifacts. It had deeper mechanics inside of it, you know, with vehicles and counters and was it revolts or whatever it was?
Yeah, the revolt mechanic, which is quite good.
But as an overall, I feel it opened up artifacts to more than just the red and blue kind of artifact stuff like that you used to have.
Well, it was the thing, like, you used to have access to those stuff before, like with the old, we talk about the old, like, Scars and Mirrodin block with, like,
Yeah.
Mirrodin Besieged and then New Phyrexia.
Well, even
But it
even
was-
the even the Alara block, right?
Even the Alara block. But it definitely wasn't, like, as powerful as Kalador started to make it.
Yeah, like green artifacts was kind of not a thing at all.
Yeah.
Black artifacts really only existed in those Phyrexian eras, where it was like the germs and the artifacts around swamps and that.
Yep.
And then, you know, Alara had, you know, Esper artifacts as kind of like a sub theme there, but it wasn't too strong. But then, yeah, I reckon Kaladesh was probably one of the most influential from a deck building perspective because it opened up like artifact strategies, not necessarily like artifact ramp in terms of signets or diamonds or whatever,
Yep.
but the full like actual artifact synergies
Like,
around vehicles and
Well, also, like, don't forget, that was the Paradox engine. Don't forget Paradox engine. Like, that, a lot of people forget about that card because it has been banned for a little while now, but Paradox engine got introduced in that set, and it did some work, didn't it?
it did some work.
It did some
definitely
mad
did some
work,
work.
and it really, like, showed that there were, like, these cool artifacts. Like, they were, like, Steel Overseer decks now had this big tool that let them, like, explode out the gate. Speaking of, I'm going to just get some more cards flowing around. So I've got a Young Pyromancer chilling here, the time-shifted variant. That's a very cool card. Big fan of Young Pyromancer. Speaking of going off and generating lots of tokens, Young Pyromancer, great card. So then we've got a Serra Avenger. So Serra Avenger is a really unique card. It's a 2-mana 3/3 Flying Vigilance Angel. Everything about it screams really great card, but then it reads, you cannot cast this spell during your first, second, or third turns of the game. So it's just like this rush, anti-racing card. It's just like really good though. So more than that, you can even cheat this card out pretty easily. It's just very cool. Big fan of Serra Avenger. It has its decks. It's not going to be auto-included and everything, but it's very cool.
Pretty fun in draft.
Very cool in draft. And then I've got a Fungus Sliver chilling out here. And that's what this set is, another thing we haven't really talked about much. This set is very focused on the draft format as well. Like, it's a kind of a random set of stuff from all over Magic's history, but they worked really hard to make sure that there were these cool synergies, and there was some of the stuff that you knew from Constructed Magic fitting into the draft format. So that's a Fungus Sliver just chilling. He's nothing much. Got a Containment Priest in the time shifted as well. Containment Priest is a great card. I've seen a few reprints recently, but for a long time was like very exclusive, and it's a very cool card. It's got Flash. Lets you exile creatures that are trying to come back from the graveyard, or if someone tries to Green Suns out a creature, you can be like, nah, I don't want that anymore. You can flash that for 2 mana. If your opponent's not doing anything fair, you can teach them what fair looks like. I've got an uncommon.
The mono white way.
An uncommon here called Rebuff the Wicked. This is another great card. We were talking about the mana types before. This card is actually huge as well. So 1 mana instant, counter target spell that targets a permanent you control. Now, it's not you or a permanent you control, but it's still very, very good. Being able to like, no, you for one white mana, you cannot Pongify my commander. Like, very, very good. In a mono white deck? Oh, I'm so yawny today. Flagstones of Tracair. A legendary white land that reads, you swing to a graveyard from the battlefield, you may search your library for a plains card, put it onto the battlefield, tap it, then shuffle your library. So I like this card with Knight of the Reliquary. Very, very cool card when you have Knight of the Reliquary out, which is just like, it's pretty cool. And I got a time-shifted one. So very, very cool. 3 mana for a 2/2 with 1/1 creature land card in your graveyard, and then for tap and sack a forest or plains, search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield, put it onto the battlefield untapped, then shuffle your library. So it doesn't read untapped, it just doesn't tap it. So if the land enters tapped, it will still enter tapped. But this card is really good. Now this card can't actually sacrifice the flagstones itself, but it can go into a little, like, kind of like a little land loop, and you can do some cool stuff with these synergies. But it cannot stack it itself. Obviously, it is not a plains. It just taps for white. A very cool card. Big fan of Knight of the Reliquary. Huge fan. I've got a time-shifted Feather the Redeemed. Now, this is getting closer towards those more New Age artworks, but I still see that this still looks amazing. It still looks phenomenal.
I still don't know if that's an angel or a bird.
Yeah, it's really funny. Once you look at the artwork up really close, you're instantly like, okay, it's an angel, there's no question about it. But it does look like from a distance it has a beak. It genuinely looks like she's got an actual beak. I kid you not. But when you get like, I can't show you on the camera, but when you get really close to it, you can see her little mouth open and her nose and face and such. So, but yeah, she's very bird-like. I'm not gonna lie to you. Very bird-like. For the longest time, I thought she genuinely had returned with a beak. I've got a copy of Dread Return here. This is an uncommon from the set. It's very, very useful for Commander. Dread
Mono
Return's
black
crazy.
staple.
Mono black, absolute staple. So I think I've got 2 here.
Oh, another one, sweet.
I've got a time-shifted Harvester of Souls. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may draw a card. This card is very underrated. It's a 6 mana 5/5 Death Touch. That's already really good. And it's whenever another non-token creature dies, so not your creature. But it's also, you may draw a card. So your opponents can't actually like attempt to like bomb the board to kill you, which a lot of these kind of cards do say mandatory draw. So like this is really good as an idea. But then obviously on the same vein, if your creature dies and you forget to draw a card, you missed it. It's very cool stuff. I've got a Living End as one of the mythics of the set. Suspend 3, and then it works like Living Death, but it's a suspend card. There's a modern deck all around Living End that's focused on cascading into Living End and casting it for free, but it's very, very cool.
Hey, so can I just have a look at that again? Each player exiles all creature cards, then sacrifice creatures they control.
It's Living Death, 100%.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that can go in Togrid.
I think it should. Because you can actually suspend this, then on the turn before it goes off, cast Togrid.
Cast Togrid, yeah. Put boots on
really
her.
good. I think you should look at playing this card.
Very
good.
Interesting.
If you're in the chat and you don't want to have Dylan use Living End on you in a Togrid game, buy it from the singles market right now. Buy it from the single store before he can have it. I've got a Pact of the Titan.
That's how we got Expropriate sold.
That's it.
We had an Expropriate, and then I think Josh bought it just so that no one else would have it.
Yeah, that was easy. I don't want anyone in the store to have this, so I'm going to buy this. 0 mana, make a 4/4 giant. It's not as good as the other packs, but it's very, very cool. Lets you survive. Lets you block. Swarmyard, an amazing land. Taps for colorless or tap to regenerate. Insect, rat, spider, or squirrel. So very
get
cool.
that in your Chatterfang deck.
Yeah, very, very cool. So then,
actually, regenerating Chatterfang's pretty good.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that's actually really, really good.
Dope.
But also like regenerating like Mazarek.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So Goblin Engineer and the Time Shifter. This card's my favorite cards of all time. I love Goblin Engineer. This is actually funny because this card now has, I think, 2. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it has 2 Time Shifter variants. One comes in Etched Foil in Modern Horizons 2 now. And and
that's right, because I was talking about it last time.
Yeah. So it's really funny how there's actually 2 Time Shifter variants of Goblin Engineer, which is really interesting. And that's how staple that like Magic tends to feel that this card is. And I think it's really good too. I think it's a really amazing card.
How many Goblin Engineers do we have?
Oh, we sold out?
We sold out. Someone bought the Modern Horizons one.
They did buy it. That's okay. That's okay. So then we've got, here's a really cool one. These are really cool ones. We've got Mangara of Corondor, who actually got a new artwork for this set. So Mangara used to be like a shoeless man, like just with a little staff, but he goes full on. He's got a good outfit on now. He's related to Teferi in some way. I think he comes from Zalfir, which is where Teferi's home world is. Well, Teferi's home city. So he's from Zalfir. But then we've got a time-shifted Arch of Erazka. Very good land, very underrated. Pay 5, draw a card, only if you have the city's blessing, but it's just a colorless land, and it always enters untapped. It's very good.
Just kind of works for like
really
late game commander where you like everyone's running out of gas.
A lot of the times, Arch of Erazka is better than an island. You know what I mean? A lot of the times. So there's very few times where it's not. Speaking of some of the most based cards in the game, I love Reiterate. If you're not playing Reiterate, you got to get yourself one of these. So this is a 3 mana card. It's 1 and 2 red. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. Doesn't have to be you control, just anyone's instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Buy back 3. So for 6 mana, you copy their spell. That's not nearly as efficient, but it puts itself back in your hand. If you have enough cost reduction, if you're playing a Baral in your Izzet deck or in your Temur deck, this card shows up really well. Even for 6 mana, getting it back and then having the flexibility of just paying the 3 and just saying it's a dual caster mage now.
Oh my god, I just thought of things.
Okay.
I just thought of like how dumb that is in the was it the Ikoria Tempest deck? Like
the Calamax.
Yeah, Calamax.
Calamax is crazy, dude. Think of that.
Oh my god.
Crazy in Calamax. So definitely recommend that card.
Like that just makes a mana geyser.
It just makes a mana geyser.
Like, or was it? What's the arcane Spliced Arcane one?
I don't remember the Spliced Arcane.
It's like Arcane
Pyretic
Ritual. Pyretic Ritual or something. Yeah.
No, Arcane Ritual. I think you're right. Pyretic
Arcane
is
Ritual.
the non-arcane version.
Oh my god, that's like infinite mana.
It's infinite. Yeah, it's crazy. Goes off. Instantly goes off. We have a time-shifted foil, and it is a Solemn Simulacrum. And again, they went with the World Championship winning art, which is just awesome.
Oh, that's foil.
Yeah, this is in foil. It's actually probably worth quite a lot.
It is actually worth quite a lot.
What are we looking at?
$76.50.
$76.50.
Better
That's a sleeve
sleeve that one.
Trent,
Did you? You had the sleeves in here, Trent.
I may or may not have put them back in the inventory with the rest of the stuff. Dylan, please get me some sleeves. Dylan, please save me. So we run a professional environment here where Trent never forgets the sleeves every freaking episode. Can I get an F in the chat for Trent for getting the sleeves again?
Mask too.
Trent is a professional. F in the chat. You know what? It was your fault. Oh, sorry. I'm screaming. Sorry. I blame Siren Song for this. You know what? I'm going to take responsibility here and blame Siren Song. Don't yell at me in all caps. All right. No, it was not Siren Song. I'm playing. I'm just an idiot. I'm a big fool. But guys, just check out that. Just check that out. If you yourself want a 4-mana artifact creature that ramps you in the shiny, in the ooh, I must have shiny, you yourself can own this for the small price of $76 fucking dollars. Like, fuck me, dude. These cards are crazy. So they're very low. If you don't know, for those in the chat, these are very hard to get. These time-shifted rares, the foils, they work out to be like, I think 0.9% to get. And then each card, it works out like 0.009 or 8 or something along those lines. There's like a very low chance to get these. That's why they are very, very valuable. So Dylan is yelling at me. Dylan is yelling at me. I am the face of your business. 1 per box, Deckham says as well. So yeah, that should be our only one out of that box. So the foil time shifter card. Apparently Declan's letting us know these are 1 per box, because I was looking at the math on these and they're apparently like 0.9% to get one. Oof. In like per pack. And then there's a like each card itself has its own chance, which is way lower because there's a ton of them. Obviously it's every time shifter card. But yeah, it works out, the ratios work out to be a bit like once a box. Or if you're like 2, or if you're me. Ooh, Declan gets 2 in a box. That's lucky, yeah, if you're lucky. Damn. Very good, Declan. That's awesome. Tell us what it was. Like, what did you get? That's awesome. I want to hear that, because if Solemn Simulacrum is worth $76, I can't imagine what you got. That would have been amazing.
Or if you're me, 0.
Or if you're me, 0. Oh, no.
Oh my.
Oh.
This is awkward now.
Oh, that's a bit awkward. Well, that if you think about it more as like 0.9%, it doesn't feel so bad. If you think of it as 1 per box, it's pretty cringe. I'm very sorry to hear that, Declan. You know what? I'll give you a kiss on the forehead, a little cute little peck on the forehead, spiritually, from me to you right now. I've just softly kissed you on the forehead as you've woken in the morning.
Please
The sound of birds chirping and the wind wishing through the window.
Please
Yes, you're very welcome, Declan. You're very welcome.
Please just open more cards.
Please. Please do your job. I'm begging you. I'm gonna like move these over a little bit. Well, kind of clear up this space so you can see me. Declan's pulls. Declan's pulls.
Angel
Declan's
wings.
pulls. Angel's wings. All right, I've got
No.
a Hivestone. It's another one, baby.
Hang on. I got an issue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, rush me along. All right, guys.
It's saying I'm trying to
kidding, I'm
remove.
sorry.
I'm trying to remove the Solemn from our inventory that I
You may need
actually
to
put in.
refresh it.
All right. No, I did refresh it.
That's strange.
No, it worked now. All right.
Okay.
Crisis
Technology,
averted.
ladies and gentlemen. So, it was a Hivestone. A rare Hivestone. It was not in foil or anything like that.
Another Hivestone.
Yeah, another one. Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Oh, we've already sold the first one.
Oh, well, great news. Is Patrick in the chat? Patty, my man, are you in the chat? You chilling out? Waiting to get your Hivestones? I love Patty. He's based.
Someone's already gone through and bought like a bunch of shit that we've just opened.
So good. Is that Nathan?
No.
Ah, I was gonna say I see Nathan Shun's name there somewhere. So, all right. So I've got another Simian Spirit Guide. This card's based. Get yourself some of these. Get yourself a playset down in the link. Get yourself a playset. This ain't a twin.
Yeah,
I
bought
bought
the Walk the
I bought the Walk the Eons. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
a dox. Oh no, that was a. Oh, I see now. That's a subtle dox. All right, so I would like to next. I was going to keep this a little bit later, but we got some cool cards to get through, so might as well peek. It's all about ups and downs here. So I've got myself a foil copy of Miri the Cursed. Miri the Cursed. Now you may not recognize this artwork from anywhere. There's a good reason for that. This has actually been, I would argue, what's the opposite of time shifted if it's going forward? Because Miri the Cursed, this is a unique artwork made for this set. They gave her a new
time spiral.
Time spiral. It's got spiraled. It's got Junji Ito'd into the new artwork. So like just amazing little manga reference.
Modern frame, modern artwork.
Modern frame, modern artwork. It's got the see that, and this is another thing. See that little flare at the top there, Dylan?
The legendary.
The legendary flare. When did they introduce that legendary flare?
Dominaria. Yeah.
Dominaria, mate. Dominaria.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah,
all right,
right.
mate.
Yeah,
all right,
mate, mate.
Yeah, mate. Now, guess what? Trent did it again. It's a time-shifted Solemn Simulacrum, but it's not in foil this time.
Oh,
Not
I'm
this
so
time.
glad I went through that process of removing the one I
Yeah, so
accidentally
glad.
added
So
to our
glad. You know
inventory.
what's funny? Even when you were doing that, I did actually look down and see this, and I said nothing. I said nothing. Suffer. Suffer, mortal.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, thanks, buddy. We're friends here. Have Krovax, Ascendant Hero. Now this is interesting because I'm pretty sure Krovax, I don't know if this is actually Krovax ever. I think this is a what if, because Krovax was a really evil dude. And Krovax is, I think this is like the version of him, like, what if he wasn't the,
Oh, he's a vampire Phyrexian.
yeah, he's a vampire
This is
Phyrexian.
the human version of him before he became a vampire Phyrexian.
Oh,
on
this
Urborg.
is canon before he did that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I thought
Look
this
at
was
look
like,
at the artwork too. Like
Yeah.
the difference. It's the same art, just reversed.
it's flipped and he's got like, all, yeah, how cool is that? Oh, man, I wish the stream could see. Look up Krovax, Crovax, and check it out on MTG Wiki because he's got a cool little story as well. So he's very cool.
Was once an aristocratic human from Urborg, born as part of Urza's bloodline project.
Bloodline Project. Dude, Urza was a messed up dude, by the way. Can I just say, Urza was not a good guy.
And he served aboard the Weatherlight.
No, he served aboard the Weatherlight. That's so cool. So when he became evil, by the way, he tortured Squee, Goblin to Bob, for like ages. For like ages. Like, Yawgmoth gave him Squee, and he just like, just like murdered him on repeat. And Squee just kept getting back up, and like, Squee had the Power Stone in his mouth, so, or in his pocket. Can't remember.
Oh, have a look at what that card says, right?
Yep.
It says, white creatures get +1/+1, non-white get -2/, -1/-1.
Yep.
Ascendant Evankar, which is the like other version of him, the legendary creature vampire. Other black creatures get +1/+1. Non-black creatures get -1/-1.
And how much does he cost normally? Like his old version, sorry?
His
6, right?
old version is 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's
All black.
Yeah.
It's literally it's a night and day.
It's the Black Knight, White Knight from Dominaria.
Exactly. Black Knight, White Knight. So yeah, that's really cool. So that's a really cool little tidbit there for you guys. So yeah, definitely, what's that? What's his name? Sorry? Ascendant Evankar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because he's not... Oh, he is a legendary, the Ascendant Evankar, but that's not his name, is it? Like,
Oh,
that's...
yeah. Krovax
Krovax.
Ascendant Hero. And this is essentially Krovax Ascendant Evankar.
Yeah, exactly. See, so that's really good. Got ahead. We'll be in store in an hour or so to pick brains about the AOS League. Oh, absolutely, Morgan. Well, unfortunately, the two people who know the most about it in store currently are going to be streaming until the end of the stream. But if you are in store, when we've done the stream, I would lovely to go through that with you. But you may check out, as you know, we have the FAQ up. We have all the details on our Discord, so you can check it out there too. But hopefully I'll see you soon, Morgan. All right, so next I'm kicking off with a... My bad, thought this went until 4.
It goes as long as it goes, Morgan.
It goes as long as we've got packs, and when I say we've got packs, I mean we've got... This is not even hard. This is not even a fit. We're not even denting. You know what I mean? We're getting there. So we're done in no time at all. Dylan's looking at the packs now, and I can see the blood rising.
It's a third. It's a third of what we have left.
2 packs is a third of what we have left.
Yeah,
piles?
two piles is a third of what we have left.
Oh,
we're not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Clearly,
all right.
we're not going to do
we're not
those
gonna
3
do those
boxes.
You can't see this, chat, but we've got 3 extra boxes sitting over here, and then we were deciding whether we should, but here we are. Packing packs.
Let's go.
6-pack. It's Elvish Mystic Time Shifted.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
That's a great card. Elvish Mystic, classic. Play it.
Absolutely
Finthorn
classic.
Elves, Elvish Mystic, Lane of War Elves, Turn 1 Ramp, Glittering Wish. You know what I mean?
you mean the card that doesn't work in?
This card does not work in Commander. Before you ask, this card does not work in Commander in chat. If you want to know why, ask me in chat right now and I'll answer that for you. If you don't want to know why, then you know what? That's a good place to be. Speaking of, Pact of Negation. That is an absolutely amazing spell. I was talking about Pact of the Titan being one of the worst options. This one is a counterspell for 0. It is straight up just a counterspell for 0. Please play this card.
It's very funny watching someone play Pact of Negation just before someone drops like a Winter Orb on the table.
Yep. Now, I want to go to the other side of this as well, where regardless of how much money you have left over, if you play this card, okay, it is not your opponent's responsibility to remind you about this. Okay? If you do not pay this, you will lose. And if you say to your opponent, oh no, I just forgot, sorry, I'll just pay that now on the end of the 3rd turn coming. If you don't remember, you lose the game. Don't forget to pay the 5, people. I've had so many people play this card, forget to pay the 5, play their entire turn, and get like 2 more rounds. No one's like, hang on, what about that pact before? And they're like, oh, I get, but bro, I forgot. Oh, but bro, come on. You know what I mean? So don't be that guy. Don't be the guy at the table. Read your cards, learn your cards, be a cool guy. I've got a Dryad Arbor. Very, very cool. This is a really weird card.
Dryad Arbor, the bane of every competitive level judge.
Oh my gosh, dude. No, I was just sitting in my lands, bro. He needs to read my lands. Come on.
Does it go with your lands or with your creatures?
Lands or creatures? Where does Dryad Arbor go? Where does this card go? Where does
Sorry, if anyone missed it there, it is both a land and a creature.
It is both a land and a creature, and it is green. It is a green land, which is interesting as well. It has a originally it didn't have this, but it's been updated now to have like the little blip here, so you know it's a green card, because that blip there also recognizes color identity. So it is a green card.
It's also a free forest. Was it free forest nymph?
Yeah, it's a forest dryad.
Forest dryad.
So you can also, but my favorite thing about Dryad Arbor as well is you can like green suns for it for X is 0, because it's 0 CMC creature. So you can play 1 green mana for green sun, shuffle that back in the deck, and play a Dryad Arbor from deck, and it ramps you 1 for 1 mana, which is very, very good, by the way. If you green suns Dryad Arbor, green suns becomes a very good ramp spell very early. Hey, are we drafting the set on Friday in store? And Tropic Spark asks us.
I don't know. If there's enough people on Friday night that want to draft it,
So-
it'll get drafted again.
Yeah, so last week on Friday we did draft one because people came in, they wanted to play it. So we said to them, Damnation in foil, by the way, everyone. Damnation in foil. Wait. We said damnation. We said damn in foil. We said if you really want to play Time Spiral Remastered, we said to you, oh, that's nice. Makios says yes. Get on there. Get on.
Yeah,
the
can you
website,
get that?
pick it up.
Can you get that straight into
It's
the sleep?
straight in
Yeah.
a sleeve. Do not worry. There you go, guys. For those at home, it is straight in a
The
sleeve.
damnation of regular is $34.
And Declan says, I will continue to annoy anyone to draft it. Exactly. You, by the way, Declan, never think you've annoyed anyone in your life. You're beautiful. Anyway, so, but we're definitely gonna. I've heard more than the amount of people who came last time. I've heard more than that many people wanting to play it.
You know what?
So.
You know what? If you want to draft Time Spiral Remastered this Friday night, bring along a friend that can draft Adventures in the Forgotten Realms.
That's a
Because
good point.
I kind of want to draft Adventures in the
That's a
Forgotten
good point.
Realms.
Dylan-
I don't have to think about it while I'm playing.
I did forget that. Yes, Dylan was quite upset last time. He wanted to play some Forgotten Realms. Sorry, Dylan. Everyone, can we get an F in the chat for Dylan's Forgotten Realms draft last Friday, guys? Thanks so much for that. Dylan didn't manage to play Forgotten Realms, and that was because of you. Let Dylan draft. Let Dylan draft. Yes, that's the rule. And Ion Crolicot. Now, I was looking at this, like, we were talking about this card before. This card's pretty neat, but it's just a lot of steps to kind of do a very expensive thing. But if you have the excess mana, it can be pretty good. I don't like playing cards that play around me making mistakes, but yeah, it's fine. So, Liliana's Triumph in the time shift. F in the chat from Mixed Minds. Yeah, I want to draft AFR. Ha ha ha. Well, honestly, that's it, Entropy Spark. Bring a friend. If you want to draft AFR, we need the numbers to draft AFR. If the Time Spiral Remastered gets in the way, then unfortunately that's going to happen. If we can run both drafts, we will, guys. Don't forget. We don't want to only run a single draft. We'll run as many drafts as you want. We'll run 4 drafts at once. Watch us do it. Please don't make us do that. I've got a time-shifted cranial plating, which is what a helmet, which is what I will require if... Actually, you know what? It's what you will require if we have to run 4 drafts at once. You will require cranial plating.
You want to run a draft for Commander Legends? We can do that too.
Actually, we can do that. So yeah, let us know. Whatever you guys want to drop, get in the Discord, get on the Facebooks, get into our personal messages. Don't get into our personal messages.
Please do not get into our personal.
Do not get into our personal
Do not
messages.
get
Do
into our
not
personal. I
contact
cannot
us
stress that
personally.
enough.
That was a joke. I was kidding. But definitely let us know because we'd love to draft whatever you want to do. Sweet. Cheers, guys. You are very welcome to Talk Spark. You are welcome to stay for the rest of the stream. And we are uploading these cards live as they showed up. Do not slide into Vault Staff's DMs. I repeat, do not. This is a PSA by Siren Song. Do not slide into Vault Staff's DMs. Now, if you are a hot single in my area, you may slide into my DMs, okay? I am not available. I have a beautiful partner I love very much, but you are more than welcome to try. I love all avenues of business.
Dude, stop.
So I've got a Sedge Sliver. So if you want all slivers to gain the ability for a black to regenerate, hit me up in the DMs. But don't hit Dylan up in the DMs, or Dylan will hit me up in the
And
DMs.
then you'll have to pay 1 black to regenerate.
You know, I'll have to pay 1 black. I'll have to pay 4 black. You know what I'm saying? 4 turns will have passed. Based, Siren Song says. I've got a time-shifted Shriekmaw, one of my favorite cards in the entire game. It comes down for 2, it echoes out, it evokes out for 2, and then it pops a non-artifact, non-black creature. So it's really good. It's a death trigger for yourself. If you have that, we mentioned before, the spoiler, where it's it draws cards when your creatures die. This will draw you a card, it'll cantrip and blow up an opponent's threat. Get involved. It only costs 1 generic mana in a Carrick deck too, so think about that. I've got a foil Fungal Reaches. It's an uncommon, but it's a very cool storage land, so It's a foil copy of Fungal Reaches. Fungal Reaches,
Fungal
which is a name that I do not like to
Reaches.
have to say more than once. I do not like the name Fungal Reaches because, like, I've been in high school before. We're
Let's see if this
chilling.
works. Let's see if this works.
Oh, here we go.
Discord.
What is wrong with that? Why is it not working for
I gotta set up.
Oh,
Join
I thought you... My bad.
Discord.
Join the Vault Discord over at... And here is the insane link. That's a Facebook.
Oh my god, it's Facebook. Facebook broke on
We're
link.
going to send a Discord link so you guys can jump into that. You guys can learn about all of our store events. You can learn about our streams. You can join the community, meet the guys, organize drafts, organize 40k games, organize RPGs. If you want to do something that you would get beaten up in high school for, we are all about that here. We are all about that here. So talk to us. Let us know. Tag us in the Discord. That's way more appropriate. Far more appropriate. Siren Song's out here. He's the quarterback. He's going in. I like Siren Song having some fun with the emotes in the chat. Guys, if you've not had fun with emotes in the chat, what are you doing? So while Dylan's bringing up the Discord chat, I know he's already brought it up. Never mind. I'm going to bring up some cards then. I've got a Mythic here. In the same pack, I got some pretty good cards. The first one I got was a Wheel of Fate.
Oh, it's so good.
Such a great card. Suspends it out for 2 mana, and then it Wheel of Fortunes everyone. So very, very good.
Any Cascade deck, that's just brilliant.
Cascade decks love this. Cascade decks love this one weird trick. Don't tell your doctor.
As a Turgid player, I love watching they get played against me too.
Oh, good fun. Good fun. Big
You mean
fan
everyone's
of
discarding all their hands?
Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker.
Oh yeah.
This is a cool commander piece, guys. Now, I can't imagine how expensive this will be in foil. It must be like over $100 easily, like not even close to that.
Just 178.
$178 in foil. How much is it normally here?
$14.
That's still fine. I'm going to sleeve him up because he's going to go into that cabinet. He doesn't get sold immediately. So Kiki Jiki, this is the thing about this as well. I love the idea of having this in my command zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love. In my command zone. This artwork is incredible. He's just freaking awesome. So yeah, I think this is the OG art too for Kiki Jiki. So definitely get involved. He just fits that flame perfectly. I've got here another copy of Crowsand Grip. This is a classic. We're going to be filling up the cabinet with Crowsand Grips. We think you guys need those. And if you don't believe me, you are wrong. You are a fool. You are a fool. You may be a chef.
You amateur!
You amateur. A Crowsand Grip. Your opponent cannot respond to your Crowsand Grip with Reiterate, you fool.
Was that another reiterate?
That's another Reiterate.
Okay, cool.
Can you imagine?
I didn't know if you were just doing a bit.
I
or you
was,
were
but
like...
the bit was leading into the next card, and then we had to stagnate the bits that you could ask some stupid question.
How
Try to
dare
get good work. You try to get some help around here. You know what I mean?
How dare I?
Try to get a good card wench. Siren Song, I need you back. I need a good card wench. This card wench keeps asking questions. I've got a Restoration Angel happening here now.
Oh, a Kiki Jiki and a Resto Angel?
Restoration Angel, I know. We got a Zealous Conscript, a Restoration Angel, and a Kiki Jiki, all in the time shifted, all in the same box so far. So you could actually technically have drafted this.
Yes.
You could have
technically
drafted this.
Yeah, it was the Rakdos charm in the same box as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
You could have technically drafted this and then have someone play it against you in drafts
and kill you instantly.
Realize the folly of your ways.
Yeah. You could have both won and then lost in the span of 5 seconds. And I would have laughed. And you know what? I would have laughed.
That would have been brilliant.
That would have been brilliant. All right, I've got an Extirpate chilling here. Another Extirpate. This card's like, okay. I don't see this card seeing much play. It is a 1-mana instant with Split Second. It lets you, like... Okay, the big thing about this card is that in Commander, it doesn't kill anything but the first target. If you're versing Persistent Petitioners, if you're versing... it's any card, right? Yep, so you can go for that new Dragon card, the Dragon's Descent. It can kill all the Dragon Ascent. It can kill all the Shadowborn Apostles. But at the end of the day, like, let the Dragon Ascent player play the game, dude. Like, let the Shadowborn Apostle play. You don't want to use this against them. But I like this in response to something targeting a Protean Hulk. If someone tries to resurrect a Protean Hulk, you respond by extirpating the Protean Hulk, and the whole table gets up and claps. And the class, you get to leave class early because you extirpated the Protean Hulk. Then we've got a time-shifted paradoxical outcome. Look at this dude. I love this card. This card is actually amazing. Paradox Outcome. Return any number of non-land permanents, a non-land non-token, because otherwise you'd be busted, to your owner's hand. Draw a card for each card returned to your hand this way. So you get to bounce all the cards back to your hand at instant speed, protecting a lot of your board. Rip Dragon's Approach, exactly. Dragon's Approach, not Ascent. Thank you so much. Yeah, Rip Dragon's Approach. But that's the same thing. If you're going to extirpate a Dragon Approach player, like, you need to sit down and have a lot hard think about why you play Commander. But yeah, like, this card's really, really cool. So Paradox Outcome is really cool. We got Lotus Bloom. I've been actually holding this card in my backlog for a little while now. Very, very cool. Big fan of that. That's a spend 3 for what's essentially a Black Lotus. It's a Black Lotus with extra steps, basically. And a Black Lotus with extra steps, guess what, guys, is still a Black Lotus. Did you know that? Did you know that not functionally, but effectively, it's a Black Lotus?
Effectively.
We've got here a Lavinia as the Warriors Renegades. Once again, this is a Rivals of...
Ravnica Allegiance.
Ravnica Allegiance. I always confuse that with Rivals Big Slime. Ravnica Allegiance commander. That's been time shifted. And she, again, looks great. Just a phenomenal card. I've got here a Kerr Keep. For those of you who like Prosh, you may know the Kobolds of Kerr Keep. The Kobolds of Kerr Keep is a Dungeons & Dragons adventure I've had as well. So there's a really cool like Dungeons & Dragons adventure with the Kobolds of Kerr Keep that you can actually like interact with and like you can play and you can role play and such.
Are you telling me that there was a D&D Magic crossover well before there is now an advertised D&D Magic crossover?
Yeah, dude. Exquisite Firecraft was next time shifted, but yeah, I know, right? I know. D&D and Magic? That's never been done. It's never been
Hands on
done.
face emoji.
Right.
Oh my god, I wrote Exquisite Time Shift.
Exquisite.
It was just a
time
near
shift.
mint, right?
Yep, just near mint. Well,
Not a
yeah,
foil.
sorry, not a foil. Yeah, sorry. I was like, can you imagine? So I got a, I was gonna say, speaking of, I remember
moderately
Battle
played.
Bond. I remember Battle Bond.
Yeah.
Used to have, it had like terrible crimping issues and terrible like
Yep.
cards. Keep your D&D away from my MTG or I swear to God, Siren Song says. Keep it away from me! Even though it's the same company, Siren Song. Come on. Come on, Siren Song, grow up, okay?
Grow up.
Grow up, okay?
Grow
It's
up.
the way the world works now. Keep your 40k away from my Magic the Gathering. Keep your Dungeons & Dragons away from my Warhammer 40,000. I got Thelon. Francis, exactly.
Best emote we've ever
Best
made.
Best emote. We've got Thelon of Havenwood Chilling Gear, the only, like, back in the day before Slimefoot, he was the go-to fungus commander. He actually cares about the spore counter ones, which is really, really cool. I think that, like, the spore counter Thelon decks are really, really cool, and that is more available, even cooler. We've got Dismember. Dismember in the Time Shifted. Dismember is, I'm going to talk about quickly, phenomenal card. It says Modern Powerhouse. I recommend playing it in every deck.
It's 1 mana.
It's 1 mana with 2 Phyrexia Black Clips, but don't worry about those. They just cost you 4 life every time. Target creature gets -5 until end of turn. That's a one generic spot removal. More often than not, that'll just kill anything. People don't really like. It's not that people don't play those big creatures. It's those big creatures aren't going to come out when this card's relevant anyway. They got Thraben Inspector, big modern staple. Love Thraben Inspector. Oh.
Hey! I got it away.
There you go, guys. So we got Thraben Inspector also chilling out here. This card's awesome. So if you don't know, that was the Discord bot working in real time. So join the Bolt Games community on Discord right now. You can jump on that invite link. It never expires. Never expires. PJ has made that very clear to me. Okay, PJ it doesn't expire. Like a ISTG train. It does never expires. Just bought that Lotus Bloom. Cheers, guys. Thanks, Explosive Spark. Cheers to you, buddy. Thank you so much for supporting us here. We really appreciate that. We're glad that we can offer you the cards that you need, and you can offer us the money that we desperately need. Siren Song fist bumps us. Thank you so much, Siren Song. Big fist bump energy. Thanks for that, Electronic Spark, once again. We love you so much. Thank you again. Thank you again. I'm actually going to get that Lotus Bloom out right now while it's actually still in my sights. It'll take me 2 seconds. There we go. Lotus Bloom, put separate. You know what? Just for you, Electronic Spark, I'm also going to sleeve that up immediately for you. Make sure it's in perfect nick so you do not have to worry whatsoever. You can just keep enjoying the stream and overall just enjoying the atmosphere like we've enjoyed yours for so long. Jaya Ballard is next. Task Mage. She got that flary border. She's a little bit of a minigame commander. She is. She's very, very cool. I'm a huge fan of Jaya Ballard. Oh, sorry, I want to jump in. Did you get the remand from earlier?
I think I did.
I think you did, yeah.
Let me just double check.
There are a couple of remands in the system now, I'd say, but...
It's the only time shifted one. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, that's the one you got. But it's
Good.
beautiful.
It's a good card.
Very good card. I love that card. We've got another copy of Mages of the Future coming up here. Another copy. This card's really good. Lets you play cards at the top. It can be really, really unfair and very, very easily broken. So big fan of that kind of card design. I'm a good fan of that card design. Got Anger of the Gods in the Time Shifted. Deal 3 damage to each creature. If the creature would deal damage, would die. Exile it instead. I think Anger of the Gods is one of the best like board wipes in red for the early game. Very, very good. Helps wipe out some really, really pesky stuff and stops those pesky death triggers. If you're dealing with things like, if you're dealing with like a Blood Artist on the field, you get to deal with those triggers before they happen. Kind of a little bit proactive. We've got Heartwood Storyteller. Oh, well, not proactive. It's a good reactive actual response to it. It's if you put it in the deck, it's a bit proactive to put it in the deck. Heartwood Storyteller. This card's phenomenal. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card. If you get this in a Notion Thief on the field at once in your Simic deck, or Muldrotha says hello, this card can be very, very, very silly. Your opponent casts a non-creature spell. This card's a trigger goes on the stack. Your opponent attempts to deny it with a counter spell. This trigger goes on the stack. You then flash out Notion Thief and take them all. Take them all. We built this city. Bam, bam. We built this city on all your dough. Built this city.
Okay, got it. Sorry, I was just
It's a bit of
updating.
a-
I was updating the timer like message as well now that the chat bot's working,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
so that
Thank
everyone can get notified where to get these cards from.
Oh my god, Dylan, thank you so much. Thanks, Dylan, in the chat, everyone. Now, have a look at this. This is no Kerbal. This artwork. Gosh darn. This is by Parent. Parente or Parent. No, Parent. Parent.
Have a look.
If Parent is in the chat,
It's Parente.
Parente? Is there there's okay. Okay. I thought there'd be like a little accent. But anyway. So Kobold, chill out. He's cute. Cute. Parente. If Parente is in the chat, let us know how to pronounce his name because we're trying our best. But Parente, jump in the chat, let us know, all right? If any of you guys in the chat right now, if you know Parente, get them involved, send them a Twitter DM. We want to get them in the chat right now. I need to know how to pronounce the name because I do not want to disrespect Parente. I've got here a Time of Need. 1 in a green for search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand. It tutors a legendary. It is at sorcery speed, but is very, very good. It does say creature cards, so you cannot search things like, I think Gaia's Cradle is legendary, right? So you can't search that with this. Uh-oh, sad time. But you can search Captain Cisse, which can search Gaia's Cradle, and you could have spent a lot of freaking money on that. That's a very expensive monetary play. You definitely don't put down the deposit on your house. Thanks, mate. All right. Venser, another one, another Shapeless Savant. Every time I see Venser, I get a little bit more excited. And the back desk gets a little bit wetter, you know what I'm saying? Every time.
What? I gotta use that desk sometimes, dude.
What? Now you want to use it more. Don't lie. Don't lie. Now it's a bit of fun. Now it's a slip slide. Now it's like Wet and Wild. You know what I'm saying? What?
Stop.
Stop. Stop.
I don't want to get hit by TOS.
Stop! Alright, I've got a Grenzo, the Dungeon Warden. This is a freaking awesome commander. So he used to be exclusive to the first ever Conspiracy set. It's very cool. He's X and a green and a red and a black. So X, red, black for he hits that with X normal counters on him. Pay 2 generic, put the bottom card of your library into your graveyard. If it's a creature with power less than Grenzo's power, put it onto the battlefield. Now, there are a lot of combos with Grenzo. I'm not going to get into it right now, but there's some crazy unfair interactions you could do with that. But I have a friend who loves this deck because they just generate a ton of colorless mana and just go crazy with just trying to see what they hit. Like, every turn they generate like 6 colorless mana, and every turn they just try to hit whatever they can. They don't really do the combos and such. They just hit like big dragons and big demons and try to go off. And they use like maybe like the Colossus Hammer and stuff to make him really big really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So Grenzo is a very cool commander. I really recommend giving him a search on EDH Rec and looking at how his deck operates because he's very, very unique. And a lot of commanders are getting dwarfed by these new commanders nowadays. So it's nice to see Grenzo still kind of, beats the test of time, you know? We've got a Teema Ascendancy. This card's fucking awesome. Creatures you control have haste, and when a creature of power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. It's not a mandatory draw like Elemental Bond and such, but it only triggers on 4 or greater. Teema not so hard to get. And then creatures you control have haste. Very good. This card's awesome. Obviously very strict in the sense that it is going into 3 colors in Commander. But hey, not every card is for Commander, full stop, you know what I mean? So, but I will say even then, even though it's not like by definition that easy to get to, it's still a Commander staple. I see it in so many decks. I kid you not, I see it in so many decks. So I wouldn't be surprised if it you could use that word. I've got a non-foil copy of that new Miri the Cursed, and that for the viewers will be able to get a better view of that. Now that's not in foil. Amazing card. So I can't tell if she is incredibly. So the hero fails and a martyr falls. Time twists and destinies and change. I think this may be the one I'm thinking of. I thought the Crovax was one. I know that there's like some of the stuff in Time Spiral was that the timelines twisted and things changed. So I think that like Miri the Cursed is one of those ones. So unless Crovax is he's a good example where it's not, but I'm pretty sure she might be like an alternate universe version. Like that's not actually like lore friendly. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's an alternate universe version. And it's interesting because she is leaping quite a distance from the Weatherlight. That is quite a distance away. So I think she may be dead. in this shot because she's about to fall to her death about 100 feet. And by 100 feet, I mean 1,000 feet. And by 10,000, I probably mean like 10,000 feet. Alternate reality. There we go.
In an
Planar
alternate
chaos.
version of events witnessed in Planar Chaos, during the fight with Selenia, it was Miri who struck the killing blow instead of Crobax. She thus became Miri the Cursed instead of Crobax the Cursed.
Oh, there you go. So Crobax was the one that was real and Miri's the new... That's so cool. So Crobax struck and became the evil Emikar. And then now in this situation, Miri did it. That's really cool.
Then she successfully rose to the position of Evankar of Wrath and replaced the Mogs with the more graceful Core as her chief minions.
That's really cool. A hero fails, a martyr falls, time twists and destinies interchange. Very cool card. We've got a time-shifted Cloud Shredder Sliver introduced in Modern Horizons 1. This card's freaking awesome. All slivers get flying and haste for 2 mana. You control only, but still. Very, very cool. I say but, I think like arguably it's better. What was that sound? Oh.
That's just out there.
Oh, she's out there. Probably just a couple of just an order. Why is the boxes coming through? All right, so. Oh, we're burning through them now. We're almost done. So, don't look at Dylan. That's the, hey, for those at home, Dylan realized that Trent lied to his face. All right, so I have a foil copy of Rada, Heir to Kel, the OG Rada, which is very, very cool.
Rad, huh?
Rad, huh? Rada right here, girl boss. Rada has boss bitch energy right now. Look at this. Girl boss energy.
Hashtag boss bitch energy.
Hashtag boss bitch energy. Rada's based. Love Rada. So then I've got Ith, the High Arcanist. Very cool card. Very cool card. He's a very unique card again, so he can suspend himself out, and you can tap him to untap attacking creatures and prevent all combat damage they would deal or be dealt. Very Ith, I-T-H.
Is it a good card?
We have a Thoughtseize in the time shift.
Oh.
Thoughtseize, incredibly powerful card in the time shift. Incredibly powerful card. Very, very good.
Thoughtseize.
Thought says what?
Just that like fairy pulling out the thought.
Yeah, it's very cool.
God.
I love the artwork.
So dark.
It fits. It's very macabre, and it also fits very well into that, like, again, that time shifted design. So I'm gonna be getting back to my backlog opening the pack. So
Well, I was talking about blocks.
yeah, let's go back into
the
blocks.
Kaladesh. What blocks do you think? Like, I mean, the secondary block for me outside of Kaladesh is probably the Ixalan block for creating like a tribal system that's like, I guess, not necessarily itself being the influence of tribal decks, but influencing the deck building of tribal decks that made WotC want to build more into tribal stuff.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I see that. Yeah, I see that. I think that another thing that was like, we saw some tribes obviously get introduced like dinosaurs, but then we saw like merfolk finally get like their green-blue kind of decks where they
and
finally
vampires
expanded into white a lot more. So we got like all of these new colors to introduce these tribes we already had. So
But then we had like things like Vanquish's Banner and
yeah, some great cards for tribal.
and was it Unclaimed Territory?
Territory,
Like
the land as
the
well.
land as well. Yeah.
The Sons of loved Ixalan, was very fun, had a clear focus, gave us some awesome cards as well as relatively fun standard format in my opinion. Yeah, it was a really good standard format. I really enjoyed the standard format. So yes, it's a really, really, really good point there, Siren Song. So yeah, I was a huge fan of that.
So what set do you think influenced Commander the most?
A block?
Yeah, what block?
As a full block, influencing Commander, it's so hard, right? Because Commander is something that we've only really seen like pushed in sets fairly recently.
Yeah.
So for me, I think if I had to say it, it would be more recent than that. It would actually be the Ravnica Allegiance, Guilds of Ravnica, followed by War of the Spark. That overall block.
The unofficial Return to
Ravnica block. With War of the Spark, okay? And
Yeah.
this is my addendum where it's like, if you don't include War of the Spark in this block, my answer is not that.
Yeah.
If you include War of the Spark in that block, I think there are a lot of changes made to how we value rare commanders and how we value the cards that got built around them and the kind of decks that we can be offered from these colors. We saw like Feather the Redeemed, obviously, is a great example. War of the Spark had those passive Planeswalkers, there's reused Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
Like, Planeswalkers became more included in Commander than ever before.
Absolutely.
After War of the Spark. So I think that's a good, maybe that's not my answer is like the most, because that's a pretty like immediate answer. Like, I think I would have to think about that a little bit more. But I think as a first like go-to, that's a good strong that's a good strong candidate.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
The mix of uncommon planeswalkers sitting in 1 to 2 colors, like really created a utility aspect to having a planeswalker into the deck, rather than it just being I'm gonna play a big beefy planeswalker and win the game now.
Well, it's only,
Which is kind of what it was in the past.
It was, I'm going to play Doubling Season, and I'm going to instantly ult with every Planeswalker I play,
Yeah.
and then they're going to be way overvalued what they're worth, as long as Doubling Season remains. They're going to be way overvalued what they're like meant to be worth, and then they're going to be like, you know, not very good otherwise. And now we've got Planeswalkers that like, yeah, you could put down the field, and an Ashiok or a Narset is going to start impacting immediately, and that feels really, really
like
good.
every deck kind of included, like even then, I would argue that like not every deck ran Planeswalkers before War of the Spark. Like,
Definitely not. No way. Like,
you,
if they
maybe one at most is what you would see in a deck.
Yep.
Like, I think the most I ran in a deck prior.
We have Sirens on saying nice little utility Planeswalkers like the Cure of the
Cure of the
Untaps.
Untaps,
Here's
yeah.
the thing: the Cure of the Untaps, in my opinion, one of the best cards. In
It's
that entire set.
also what
A draw-
Temur
is it-
Ascendancy,
Yeah,
draw,
it's
power
a draw
four.
if you're powerful grand. It's like it's a draw card as well. So if you can't get to that untap synergy, you're still going to
Yeah,
be
get
drawing
benefit,
cards passively. So it's one of these. Yeah, it's just absolutely
So
phenomenal.
like I think the most Planeswalkers I had in a deck prior to that War of the Spark era
Yep.
was a red-black neg 1 counters deck from
Oh, the
that
Scorpion,
the Scorpion
God.
God. Yeah.
Based commander, by the way. Very.
Yeah.
I'm actually like I never knew.
I want to
Scorpion God.
rebuild it, but
Please.
it's
Please, I know how bad it feels compared to Patra nowadays, but it doesn't matter. That's
But
one of my
it's so
favorite
much
commanders.
fun.
It's so good. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go
but
ahead.
yeah, the Scorpion God deck had 2 different Lilianas. Like there was and they were both from the Armand Ket block.
Well, there was the one from the structure deck that was actually really good
Good for Neg 1
counters.
counters. Yeah. So I think that's probably one of the decks that even I ran that had the most Planeswalkers prior to War of the Spark, right? And now I'm always finding, there's at least one utility Planeswalker now to throw in into nearly every deck.
Can I actually add something here now? There's
Yeah.
one more segue I want to add, which I really, really like on the concepts of like adding them into decks and like getting these new cards for these new like kind of designs, but also kind of what makes Commander important. We're talking about the impactful blocks for Commander. Siren Talk says all of the Amonkhet gods are amazing, and I'm going to talk about Amonkhet for a quick second and talk back about the set before it, which was obviously Kaladesh block.
Mhm.
What we haven't mentioned about Kaladesh block that I think made it so relevant for Commander as well was the Invention series. We forgot to mention the Masterpiece series was the very first time. That was the alpha test for Secret Layers. Let's be real. That was the alpha test for Secret Layers.
I would argue there was the alpha test for collector boxes.
Possibly. That's definitely true. But I think we started seeing Secret Layers before collector boxes though, right? Or was that which one of those came first? That's a tough one now, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's all kind of the same.
I think it was around the same time we started seeing like collectors. I think came out in Throne of Eldraine.
It kind of happened all at once, I felt
Yeah.
like it all happened.
Secret Lair I think was probably Theros Beyond Death.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of time between the two.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So get started on masterpieces as well, like gateway drug to more expensive stuff, more exclusive stuff. Sorry, which is that's when I think you're right. Yeah, it's more comparable to the commander, to the collector's boosters. You're right. It is more comparable to that. So to be fair, compared to the collector's boosters, like that was like the alpha for that. But I think it was done in a way that really like pushed people to buy the product and really came up with new cards. And that's where I go into Amonkhet. Because the Amonkhet block offered about as much, as far as I'm like, in my opinion, about as much as the Ixalan block did, as far as like new tribes and new dynamics, and it offered the War of the Spark and Ravnica line of all these new commanders that all were really, really powerful. Like you've obviously seen my Unash deck, but let's talk about like the Locust God and the fucking Scarab God. Some of the coolest, most unique and powerful commanders to be introduced to the game were introduced during that set. So I think Amonkhet definitely deserves as a runner. As the block that really affects.
I feel like Amonkhet though probably is more along the lines of the same lines of Modern Horizons, where it didn't necessarily upend deck building in its entirely. It didn't upend deck building; it upended what you could run at the helm.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely fair. But I think that's what it added that you could play at the helm was a lot more, in my opinion, than Modern Horizons
does.
Modern
Yeah.
Horizons had like that
Modern
tiny
Horizons
piece of
was
powerful stuff.
Yeah, it was
Amonkhet was
Yawgmoth and Urza.
Yeah. And then Amonkhet was like this massive
Yeah,
block of like a
here's
bunch
one
of
for every
awesome
color.
stuff.
Have fun.
Yeah, like Nehev the Eternal.
Yeah.
Like amazing. And it wasn't just that. that redefined mono red decks. Like
Yeah.
have the Eternal by itself redefined mono.
I mean, you
red.
can also say that about Torbrun as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Torbrun
definitely.
made mono red burn a
Viable
viable
in
deck
Commander.
in Commander.
It made
because the life levels of Commander is just too high to make mono red burn work.
burn is worth less when your opponents have more. That's
Yeah.
like that's it.
Yeah, it's worth exactly half as much because your opponents have double the amount of life.
Actually, it's interesting. It's worth not just that. It's worth a sixth of it because
Yeah.
you've got three opponents.
You got 3 opponents, yeah.
So not only are they double, they're also
Yeah,
triple
yeah.
that. Like it's insane. So when you get into some more cards here,
Yeah, let's
'cause
do
we've
it.
We've been chatting away, but I've got some cards here, and it's always lovely to talk about Magic. But let's look at some too. I've got Rada, Heir to Kel. This one's just
Another
what?
Radha,
Radha.
just a regular one.
Just a regular one. She's base though. Regular Rada is still worth though. Cool card. So 2 mana. Whenever it attacks, you may add red. Unfortunately, Rada does have that old kind of text where it's like it does disappear. Boss bitch. Hashtag boss bitch. We need a Rada boss. We need a Cass boss bitch emote because Cass is the epitome of boss bitch. She is absolutely like girl boss. Cass is base. So, but Rada actually makes the mana go away at the end of the phase, so you have to use it right there and then. That's why they always tap. They also tap for green. We've got a time shifted Mole Drifter. Sorry, do you mind if I get that little thingy back?
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go.
There we go. So we got a. Sorry guys, I just can't see. There we go. So Mole Drifter, living the dream. Card's amazing. Play Mole Drifter if you can. What's the foil Mole Drifter? $64. Ah, that's crazy. Kervek the Merciless. Kervek.
Progstegma.
Prostagma. Kervek the Merciless. All right. There we've got Benalish Commander. I have to like in my brain, I literally say, no Trent, stop. The moment I said that, because I was going to keep going. I had to literally I had to force myself. Benalish Commander. So yeah, don't forget guys, get therapy. All right, so Benalish Commander, very cool card. Makes a bunch of lifelink. It creates, does it lifelink? No, just 1/1 soldiers. I thought it created lifelink ones, interesting. All right, another Angel of Salvation. Rearing its ugly head. Flash can both prevent damage, pretty good. We've got another Simian Spirit Guide. That's the playset. If you want to play set of Simian Spirit Guides, get in.
We actually have one more now.
What's that, sorry?
We actually have 5.
Oh, we have 5. We already had the playset, my bad. I've got another Sappy Eric-Stotter. Just chilling here. Oh, monkey. Saren's-on. Look at this monkey. So Sappy Eric-Stotter, she's chill. We've got a Coalition Relic. Now this card doesn't see as much play anymore. And I think that's kind of sad because this card's really, really good. Pay 3, tap for 1 mana of any color, and then tap to put a charge counter on it. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you must remove all charge counters from it and add 1 mana of any color for each charge counter removed this way. So logically, it's a little bit rough because you have to interact with it to get more charge counters. But if you think about this, right, you play it down for 3 on your turn. On the following turn, at the end of your opponent's turn, you tap this for a charge counter. In your turn, it untaps. And at the start of your main phase, it generates a mana. And you get a free mana, and this taps for mana. So it's still ranked you 1. So it's like a worn Power Stone, but for colored mana every turn. So it's really good. I really think that that's like no joke. You should definitely look at the colored worn Power Stone. And they're mana of different colors as well. So it's not like a Gilded Lotus where you're still locked to the one color. Coalition Relic, very good. Play it. Contagion Clasp in the Time Fist shifted. That's a cool little neat card. We'll put it in the system. It's a cool little neat card. Proliferate is a keyword that when you see it,
I'm definitely going to need that if I'm going to rebuild Scorpion God.
I mean, you're going to want that in Saheeli as well, obviously, because it proliferates. Like, you're going to want that in Saheeli.
True.
And it's very cheap, so it's easy to get the X up. So then we got Restore Balance, one of the mythics here. This is balance, but it's got to suspend 6. So
it has to be restored.
it has to be, it has to be restored. There you go, see? So balance is a banned card, but this is a version of it that costs only 1, not 2. And then it suspends for 6. Now,
You have 6 turns to make it as even as possible.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I'll do it for you.
Exactly. You have to, everyone, catch up the guy who's losing or you're going to be knocked down to their peg. So this is a very, very cool very cool card, Restore Balance. So
That actually, having that with suspend is
Yeah.
actually like a really fun way to do that mechanic.
it's really good, right?
Because it's like, all right, everyone, you're now incentivized to make the worst guy on the same level as you.
I'll very quickly talk about this because we're talking about like how this works, and all I said before was it's balance. But if you're listening and not watching, or if you just haven't seen this card before or don't know what balance means, it reads: each player chooses a number of lands they control equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. So for example, if Dylan has 2 lands and I have 7, I have to sacrifice 5 lands. But if Dylan has 2 lands and another opponent has 1, I have to sacrifice 6 lands because I have to go down to the player who controls the fewest, and Dylan would have to sacrifice 1 land. Players sacrifice creatures and discards cards the same way. So I really like this. I use one of these in my Velomachus Lawhold deck because he allows you to cast cards outside of their timing restrictions. So we can cast this off the top of the library, and then he can make everyone to sacrifice all their creatures except for one. If I have barely any cards in hand because I'm playing Boros, I can just make everyone discard their whole hand. And I have a lot of land destruction, so I get myself down to 1 mana just so I can equip things like my boots, my hexproof boots, so my Swifties. And then balance just kills everyone's responses to me, which is very, very cool. And when I'm left with a 5/5 hexproof creature that's attacking every turn and casting big spells, like, you're going to have a bad time. So balance, really cool. We've got a true name Nemesis, time shifted. One of the more cooler merfolk in the game, one of the better merfolk in the whole game. Very, very cool. Just give yourself protection from a player. Ooh, so I knew Siren Song would pop in the chat on that one. Yeah, absolutely. So a time-shifted true name. I'm pretty sure Siren Song has a time-shifted true name Nemesis, but it's somewhere in the blue part of my rares or somewhere. I don't know. It's somewhere, and Trent doesn't know where it is. We've got a Summoner's Pact. 0 mana search any creature. If you don't pay 4 next turn, you lose, baby. Pay the fee. Do you pay
Is that
the
Vorinclex in the in the art?
I don't think it's Vorinclex, but it is someone.
Or Mykolov?
It's some like tiny headed,
Oh, okay.
big armed creature. Pay the tithe. Very cool. So
It's the Iron Giant.
he's got very Iron Giant vibes. There's got to
Teal.
be a card this is referencing. It's got to be a card. We got to find out. There's gonna be like maybe it's a Sylvan Primordial. Who knows? It could be anything. Life is funky and it is weird. Yeah. Is that like trivia?
Yeah. No.
Nah, I guess not. It's just chilling.
Pack.
Yeah, nah.
It's from Future
It's
Sight.
from Future Sight. Did you know it is from Future Sight? So that's the thing. We talked about this blocks before. So before, Time Spiral was actually overall a block. And then it's become a single set because there are no such thing as blocks anymore. So we've got here a Talaria West. This card's freaking awesome. It's a land that taps for, enters taps for blue. You transmute it. Transmute is 1 blue, or it's whatever the transmute cost is, which is usually 1 and then 2 of the color. And you discard this to search your deck for any card with the same CMC as it. So this card goes searching for Black Lotus, which is banned in Commander. But if you know what, if you bring out Black Lotus against me in Commander, I'm going to say, you know what, man, you can play that. If you bring out a real one on the table in its PSA 10 case, I'll say, you know what, man, you did it. You Talaria Wested for a Black Lotus. I'm proud of you.
So
And it's
proud
like-
of you, and immediately picks up cards and walks away.
Walks away. I'm like, hey,
Because
Judge.
God knows what else is in that deck.
Yeah, right. Judge. All right. We got another time shift to Slimefoot. He's vibing.
so friendly.
Here I've got a card that might get instantly sleeved a little bit. So it's a foil copy of Magus of the Moon. No time shift, but still amazing. And this Magus of the Moon is also an updated artwork as well. Like the old Magus is very cool, no lie. But this one is freaking phenomenal. So it's got like, you can see the entire moon there of Blood Moon. And he's like got his hand up against it, touching it. And then he's using that to channel it through his staff as well. So there's this really cool like fiery channeling he's doing through the Blood Moon, which is very cool. So I got here a time shifted Bajuka Bog. One of the better black lands in the game. Time shifted Bajuka Bog. If you don't play Bajuka Bog, you are doing it wrong. Get a load of this guy, Siren Song says in the chat. Get a load of this guy.
Bajuka Boggy. No, I spelled Bajuka wrong. I added
It
an
reminds
extra
me of
K.
that. It reminds me of that like Ross from Friends meme. Get a load of this guy.
Oh my god. Packs were based on unhinged rocket-powered turbo slug.
Unhinged rocket power. That's cool. What? Because he has the.
It's super haste. This may attack the turn before you play it. You may put this card into play from your hand, tapped and attacking during your declare attack step. If you do, you lose the game at the end of your next turn unless you pay this card's mana cost.
That's so cool. See that? That's cool. You see that kind of stuff. There's some really cool stuff. Like from the test cards from the Mystery Booster Convention editions.
Yeah.
There was a card in there that got directly put into Theros, 1-for-1, how it works, which was enchantment ties, and it turns something into an enchantment, which is really cool. It's an enchantment that turns things into enchantments. So here I've got a copy of Teferi, Mage of Zalfir, which is a phenomenal card. This card's really, really good. It's 2 and 3 blue for a 3/4 flash wizard. So okay, stat-wise, he's got flash. He's very, very expensive. 3 blue clicks, very, very good.
I like that it's new border, old art.
New border, old art. Very, very cool.
Because there is a like Teferi Mage of Zalfir that is.
There's a new art one.
That's
yeah.
a new art one that was
Where he's
printed.
he's like leaning forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one I really like. What's the set on two from the right on that Google search? You can see him two from the right there. What set is that?
Iconic Masters.
Oh, okay, that's his Iconic Pass reprint. Damn, I thought he had there was another set reprint where it looked like that. I can't remember where.
That seems
That's
to be
from the vault.
That's the From the Vault.
That's
yeah,
the from the vault version.
and
So,
Iconic Masters.
Yeah, so Iconic Masters from the vault. What about the one next to Knowledge Pool? Down two,
Down to
left, very left. Yep.
yeah, IMA as well.
Oh, damn. See, so there you go. So that's all that. And that's some good art and some sense. Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool. It's got, so the thing about him here is he's kind of got that stern impression. He's very young here. So this is actually probably before the fall of Zalfir, which is very, very cool in his timeline. He did if you don't know, he did like a Doctor Who and like time locked his entire city. I don't exactly remember the details of why, but I'm pretty sure it was during the mending.
I think it was because the Phyrexians were invading.
Was that really all it was? The Phyrexians were just invading and he just locked them out? We'll find out while I get some more cards up, because he's got a very, very cool lore. He reads, creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield have flash. So you can cast all your creature cards at flash speed. Very good. Such a good card. Always spooked the table when I dropped it in Rashmi. Yeah, because you can cast everything as flash speed. But here's the important one, right? Each opponent can cast spells only anytime they could cast a sorcery, and that's the most useful effect right there. Each opponent can cast spells only anytime they could cast a sorcery. So for example, if they can't bolt you on your turn. They can't counterspell your opponent. They can't do anything that isn't in their own turn. But even in their own turn, they have to follow the sorcery lines of play, which means, and the sorcery rules around playing cards. So what happens is if they hit a card, for example, Maelstrom Wanderer, that cascades, it goes on the stack first. Then it triggers Cascade, and it puts two cards basically on the stack in front of it. So you cascade the first time into this, cast it, the cascade on the stack into this, and cast it. Both times you do that, they're on the stack second, so they're going to resolve before him. Sorceries cannot be on the stack second, they cannot resolve before him, so both of the cascades just whiff. You cannot cascade, for example, under Teferi. So it's a very, very weird card. It's very, very cool. It's very powerful. Obviously, being able to stop your opponent from interacting with you is very good, but also being able to stop your opponent from doing silly, powerful stuff that isn't fair is also insanely good. So we've got a time-shifted copy here of Beast Whisperer. It's a time-shifted copy.
Beast Whisperer.
Beast Whisperer Titan. Beast Whisperer is an amazing card.
Sorry, was it? I completely blanked out. Was there something between Beast Whisperer and Teferi?
Nope.
Okay, good.
You're all good, man. He was focusing.
Yeah, attempting to avoid the invasion. Shortly prior to the Phyrexian invasion, Keld attacked Jamura on Dominaria. For reasons unknown, Teferi stayed out of the war until the last moment when he defeated the Keldans. They made Teferi realize that he didn't want to be part of Urza's plan to fight Phyrexia anymore, and he began to devise an alternative.
Okay.
When the invasion began and a portal opened in the sky up over Zalfir, Teferi convinced Urza to join him in teleporting in and out of the portals with him, overloading them. Teferi told his former tutor that he had a plan to use the resulting energy, but when Urza found out what that plan was, he wasn't happy about it. Teferi weaved it into one gigantic phasing spell that removed northwestern Jamura and the part of Shiv that Joyra stayed on from the time stream to save them from the horrendous attacks of the Phyrexians.
Huh. But that was forever.
Yeah,
He did that to them forever.
He did that and he didn't realize how good it was.
Beast Whisperer, Emoti, and Ytris would like to know your location. Yes, exactly. Emoti and Ytris, yeah, that's actually no, in response to Teferi, yeah, definitely. It's like, please stop. That's really interesting, yeah. It sucks that it was like he did it in like he did like proactively to kind of respond to the war, which is kind of a little bit silly when you think about it, like ethically, because he did just like soft lock them in time, so hard lock them really actually, because I remember that he doesn't know how to fix it, or like he can't. Something along the lines of like, because otherwise he would have like reversed it, but he couldn't. There was something about it. But it's been a long time now, right?
Oh,
like,
there was a rift. There was a time rift where he tried to get it out. But Jessica, manipulated by Leshrak, used Rada as a mana lens, forcefully closing the Zalfarian rift. Without precise timing, the phase lands of Zalfir were seemingly lost forever. Although Teferi said he could probably save it if he was still a Planeswalker. So now he is a Planeswalker.
You know, well, he's not He's not a planeswalker anymore, right? Because he used to be like.
Well, no, he is now.
No, I mean, like, sorry, I mean,
Oh,
he used
at
to be
this
a
point?
pre-mending planeswalker,
Yeah.
which means that like a planeswalker back then meant
Was a
lot
god.
more. It was like a god, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So he would probably need to be a god again.
And then he fought in the War of the Spark, and then we haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, it's interesting that he fought in the War of the Spark. That's crazy to me because he's, I don't know, it's wild to me that he fought in War of the Spark. Like that doesn't seem to correlate with his wants at all. Anyway, Thalanite Hermit, very cool. This is another version of, well, we've seen a lot of these cards now, but it's a creature that lets you make a bunch of screen saplings, 4 green saplings, pretty good. Kind of Hornet Queen style of effect, but it does flip face up. It's a morph card. If you played your Cadena decks, it would have come in there, but it's also quite good in there. Etali Primal Storm. This here is a weird example because this is the time shifted card. And I don't know how much this art fits the time shift, but the card looks brilliant nonetheless. There's nothing, it looks beautiful from top to bottom. But Raymond Swanland is such an amazing artist. I would say Raymond Swanland is one of my favorite artists of all time. Separate art from artist, of course. But I
What
love his stuff.
What if we had good printing methods back in the 90s?
Yeah, right. That looks so good, doesn't it? Like, Etali, I think, is one of the best looking cards of all time. Like, it's just one of the coolest commanders of all time. So, this card's very, very cool. Get your hands on it. I might actually end up rebuilding my old Etali deck as, like, my commander, because Etali is actually just that cool. All right, we've got a Chroma, Angel of Fury. That's like kind of, there's like a time spiral kind of bulk mythic, in my opinion. I've seen a lot of this card. Chroma, Angel of Fury, very cool. A weird red morph card. Not much red morph going on in the game, but she likes to have it a bit. She doesn't need to be morphed by any metric. And it's very strange where she can't be. I don't know if her can't be countered interacts with her morph. I don't think it works. So they could counter you if you morph her, but get these cards right now. Use code LELINE. Check on the chat. If there's a link in the chat, if you want any of these cards right now, pick them up. They are being put in the system by Dylan. Card bench today. D for dench. Card dench today.
Stop.
Evolutionary Leap. Or should I call it Devolutionary Deep? No, I shouldn't. Yeah, thanks, Dylan. I shouldn't do that. Evolutionary Leap in the time shifted. It's not foil. No, Siren Song says. That is a good answer. Thank you. Thank you.
No dench.
Just need to be grounded sometimes, you know. Like I just shoot for the stars a little bit too much sometimes, you know. I feel like thanks guys. You've really just put me down into the dirt. So thanks for that one. All right, I've got 2 copies of Boom and Bust. I don't think the camera's picking this up, but they are very different saturation. They are very different saturation. I hope the camera's picking that up well. It's
it can.
It's way worse than the camera looks though. This one's really faded out. And then this one's really, yeah, look at that. This one's really exciting, really faded out. So yeah, one looks very pink. It is actually very pink. Well, it's not as pink as it probably looks on the camera, but it is really wild. So very strange looking. A time-shifted Ramunap Ruins.
Yes, the Bane of Hour of Devastation standard.
It was insane, wasn't it? Gosh. They got banned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Roundup Rules got banned in standard, and nobody thought it was, because everyone's like, wow, this card's like really good, but like, can't be that good, right? But no, it really was. Draining Whelk. Counter spell with 1 million extra steps. I played this card for a small amount of time in my partner's Rashmi deck, but we ended up taking it out for better counter spells, because there are counter spell creatures that cost 4, so costing.
That's the kind of card you add in your deck if you just want to fuck with an opponent.
Like, here we go.
That's a great X card, but
Here we think. If you playing Min, Wily Illusionist, this is an illusion. You can flash it. You can sack. Oh my goodness. Okay, listen to this. So Min, Wily Illusionist can sacrifice an illusion to play this. Well, you can sacrifice it with a different card to then drop this in your opponent's turn, and then it counters their spell because it's when it enters the battlefield, not when you cast it.
yeah.
So there is a very good useful card here, and then it is an illusion. And it has a bunch of bomber counters. So when it dies, I love those cards with blink effects. Yeah, that's right. Anything with like cool blink effects is really cool. Draining Whelk is a bit expensive, but I will say Min, I might actually play this in my Min deck. Because I've been playing a lot of Min, and I like to give this card a shot. Because I like to see cards like this see play and find their place in the world. So,
When someone plays their commander for the 3rd time and you drop that.
yeah, that's so good. Well, don't forget, it's converted mana cost, so it won't count the tax. But still, it's very good. If they could drop something like a big commander, like a Volumicus Lawhold or something, and you just counter it, you're like, nah, die, idiot. Or better yet, hey guys, I'm gonna play Expropriate. Sorry, buddy.
Torment of Hailfire, X equals 13.
X equals 30. Excuse me, X equals 100,000. I have infinite mana. Don't even worry about it. Sorry,
Well, then I
not
have
there.
infinite counters.
Well, I have an infinitely powerful creature now, and your card got counted, and you have 2 cards in hand. So time shifted leveler. Time shifted leveler. Whenever level ends about, put exile all cards from your library. Yeah, that is what it says.
Labmaniac deck, here
That
we
Maniac
go.
Deck, here we go. Well, you play this, then you play Thassa's Oracle in the game. On the
Yeah.
slot. That's really good. Because Thassa's Oracle is got 2 blue, so
Yeah,
it counts
2
its own
blue.
devotion. Dylan, it's Urborg, baby. Tomb of Yawgmoth. We got the Urborg. Now, I don't know if...
Oh my god, the camera's gone weird.
Oh, God.
Oh god.
Oh.
Oh my
God.
god.
Oh, my God.
I managed to pick up a Cabal Coffers from Modern Horizons.
Yep.
So, and I have an Urborg. So,
So good.
I'm so happy to finally have that combo.
Cursed Urborg.
Cursed Urborg.
We have a Nether Trader. This card's really good. Nether Trader's low work. If another creature spawns to your graveyard, you may pay 1. If you do, return another Trader from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, with Nether Trader plus a Nether Trader, if you have 2 Nether Traders and a Phyrexian altar, I think that's like infinite mana. Something like that. No, it's infinite death. It's infinite death triggers. What's up?
There was I saw an infinite combo using Shambling Ghast today. I'm trying to remember what it was.
What, the one that makes squirrels?
No, the one that makes when it dies you make a treasure.
Oh,
Oh,
that
it's
one, yeah.
it's Liliana that you like neg 3 and you can cast zombies from your graveyard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And you
Yeah,
have like Altar of Dementia.
yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
You just
really
go
good.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's the new one, right? Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good. That's really good. Not super well designed, that card. We've got a time-shifted Vampire Hex Mage. Speaking of not very well designed, this card's like really cool. Sacrifice it at instant speed to remove all counters from target permanent. You can just kill planeswalkers with it, really cool. But you can also remove all the counters from Dark Depths.
Yes, and get a Marit Large.
Yeah, you saw Marit
Turn 2.
Age, yeah. Turn 2 Marit Age, pretty good. Dovin's Veto in the Time Shifter. This card's one of my favorite cards of all time. If you are not playing this in your Azorius deck, you are absolutely wrong. Counter target non-creature spell. This spell can't be counted. It's a counter spell that cannot be counted. Please play cards like this. Make sure you're setting yourselves up and make sure you're proactively responding to things. Dovin's Veto lets you make sure that that card's going to go. Unless your opponent has cards like Narset's Reversal, which is a possibility to get rid of this, or Avenza, but this is quite cheap, so Avenza may not work. This is still very, very powerful. So definitely play Dovin's Veto. This card's really awesome. I've got another Lotus Bloom here. Lotus Bloom's really, really good. I love that card. Yeah, speaking of Cascade decks, yeah, they want their 3 mana back.
Oh, we've already sold the Lotus Bloom we had.
Of course we did.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Of course we did.
Of course we did.
Of course we did. Of course we did. Why are you so confused, mate? Of course we did. It's another Corrosion Grip.
Corrosion Grip.
Corrosion Grip, another one. Another one. Another one. Speaking of another one, it's Simeon Spirit Guide again. Love that guy.
Kong.
Gong.
Mono red Kong.
Gong. I love the flavor text here. It says, it's rarely worth questioning where the mana comes from. Just be grateful. So cool. So cool. All right, so we've got ourselves here another Thelon of Havenwood. So another fungus commander just chilling. Elf Druid. He himself is not fungus. He just likes cultivating it. So, and I can respect a man.
He's a fan of the mushrooms.
I can respect a man with a hobby. You know, Summer.
Man with
So
hobby.
I've got Vandal Blast in the Time Shifted. I can respect a man with a hobby. So Time Shifted Vandal Blast. This card's really good. Destroy target artifact you don't control, which sounds weird until you realize it has Overload 5. Destroy all artifacts you don't control.
Very few people play that for 1 red.
Yeah, I know. Most people play for the Overload. For 1 red, it does show up, but it is
The
sorcery.
bane of my Saheeli deck.
Yeah. Ooh. Very, very good. So
It's a nice board state you had there, Dylan.
you fool! You fool! You fool! All right. You got Everflowing Chalice in the Time Shifted. Great card. Great little rock. Great little Dwayne. Great little rock.
Dwayne the Card Johnson.
Dwayne the Card Johnson. No, wait. Card the Rock Johnson. 'Cause
Card-
The rock part is the...
Mana the Rock Johnson.
Mana the Rock Johnson. That's it, dude. Cursed Urborg. Oh, that's the one. All right. So right here, a Dread Horde Arcanist. This card's very, very cool. It came out of War of the Spark as well. Lets you cast cards out of the graveyard. So like it's a bit of a feather piece, but it's very cool. If you get the feather as the Time Shifted, and then this, you got yourself going. If you get the Young Pyromancer, cool draft environment in my opinion.
It's like Flashback, but wordier.
It reminds me of a lot harder to get to Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Snapcaster Mage, but way wordier and harder to do.
But bro,
it's
it has
cool.
trample
But bro,
with 1 power.
yeah, but the best part is that it gets you cast that card for free.
Yeah.
So, we got a Greater Gargadon, which is a very cool suspend card. Suspend for 10 for a red. Sacrifice an artifact, creature, or land, remove a time counter from it. Activate this ability only if it's suspended. So very cool. Lets you just kind of like free sack outlet for a little while. And also, it's a cost to sack, and then you remove the time counter of the effect. So you actually stack that basically infinitely if you have a way of interacting with it unfairly. You can stack it essentially like endlessly. The next pact is Slaughter Pact. I love this card. Destroy target non-black creature for 0, and then pay 3. If you don't, you lose the game in your next upkeep. You pay 3 in your next upkeep if you don't lose the game. Very good. Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. We've got here one of my favorite cards. I say this in every second card, I know. Every second card is my favorite card, but I just love Magic. Sudden Spoiling. 1 and 2 black for split second instant, which means obviously your opponent can't respond except with mana abilities and triggered abilities. Until end of turn, creatures target player controls lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 0-2. So you can obviously make them 0-2s with no like buffs, and then you just block all their creatures. This is really cool. So your opponent like taps a Cranko and puts that ability on the stack. You can respond with this to make it lose all abilities. That's no longer viable. So you can make it lose all abilities. It doesn't resolve, and then you get to have it turn to a 0-2. And at split second, they can't like respond to this in any way. So that you can definitely turn off an entire play with this, and it's very, very scary. It's a very good card. Sun Spoiling, big fan. Thragtusk. This is my favorite card. This is Thragtusk. It's cool. It's shown up. It's existed for a long time. If you don't know Thragtusk, it's probably not relevant to you anyway. It hasn't been relevant.
It's definitely a card that's designed for draft.
It's definitely amazing, actually, I would say, in the draft environment, but outside of that, it's useless, basically. It's fine. You can do some crazy stuff with it, with like Nim Death Mantle and Ashnod's ult, you can infinitely sacrifice Thragtusk and go to infinite life. And that's it. Very cute. Only 90s kids remember Thragtusk. Yeah. Past in Flames.
Power Rangers and Thragtusk.
Power Rangers and Thragtusk. Past in Flames is a very good card. Very, very good card. Lets you give all your stuff flashback. It itself is flashback. So you
I like the little like cracked at the top of the border that goes along with it.
Oh yeah, it does. That's really cool. Yeah, I really like that. That little like that little flames, little crack. See if we
I wonder if that's like. I think that is just part of the old border for red, but it'd be funny if it was that's part of the old border for red for stuff that goes in the graveyard.
That'd be cool. There's another crack over here too. Like
it has that graveyard symbol in the bottom, in the top right, top left.
Yeah, there's actually cracks all over it, so it is very cool. It's pretty cool. So, let's just have a quick look. So no, it is so Idori. Dreadnought Argonauts also has the cracks, so it's not just that, but still very cool nonetheless. We've got here a time shifted Beast Within. Very cool card. Dude, that's on the Phyrexian card, which is gross. Kill the weak so they can't drag the strong down to their level. This is true compassion. I don't think that's compassion at all, buddy. Sorry. I think it's something. I think you might be right, but it's not compassion.
Psychopathy?
Psychopathy, maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Psychopathy makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I would say you're a psychopath, but I would not say that you're
I wouldn't say it to your face. I wouldn't say it to your face though, because you'd probably kill me.
You'd probably kill me because you'd call me weak. We got Tombstalker here. 8 mana 5/5 flying delve. When it ran out of bodies, it broke down the crypt door and sought new sustenance. It's very cool.
Yummy.
Humies. Love the humies. Best white card in the game. No, it's not. It's pretty up there. Angel's Grace. 1 mana innocent with split second. You can tell that split second is a bit of a theme in this set. That's right. They have rollback split second for a bit of a theme. They haven't printed any more split second cards. This is fully reprints though, so that's really cool. Split second is very, very powerful. That's the reason I say that. I don't necessarily think we need many more split second cards in the game. Split second is really useful for certain things, but the more split second we have in the game, the less interaction we have in the game, which is more dangerous. You can't lose the game this turn, and your opponents can't win the game this turn. Until end of turn, damage or reduce your life total to less than 1, reduce it to 1 instead, so you don't just die on your next upkeep or whatever.
It's really good in a dual-colored pack deck.
Yeah, that's the first one. But I mean, just like, in draft as well, like having access to both of those would be really, really, really cool. 1 mana to basically pay for the pack is really good. Also, just like in Commander, this card makes its way into a lot of my decks, just because it is able to stop your opponent from just destroying you in 1 turn. If there's like a Thassa's Oracle trigger, you can respond to it with this.
Yeah.
That's the big one. If there's a Thassa's Oracle trigger, you can respond to it with this, which is why I play it every time. It's basically just for that card. I'm not even kidding. Cause of Krufix! This card lets you play lands off the top. It's time shifted. It's very cool.
Not seeing a lot of play now. with Corsa in Commander.
It's
like
really
it's been replaced by a couple of better cards, I think.
I think so. I agree.
I think more the greater access to cards like Azusa Lost but Seeking have definitely made Cursor kind of go to the wayside in Commander.
Yeah, that I think you're absolutely right. I think there are like some cards where, or some decks, sorry, where you do want to have access to that kind of card. So it does show up, especially if you're like top decking shenanigans. But I totally agree. This is like it's one of these things where like play with the top of your library revealed can be very dangerous, teaching your opponent your entire strategy and everything you have access to. Some players can.
It can be a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
I remember playing. I used to have a Dragon deck. A 5-color Dragon deck, which is dragons. You play big beefy dragons. You play basically one dragon a turn, and then you just mess up your opponents, right?
Yeah. It's like Battle Cruiser Magic.
Yeah. I was versing Pippin and I think it was Josh as well. This was back in the early days of the store.
It's not an easy game then.
And Pippin played Telepathy, which is the blue enchantment everyone plays with their hands revealed.
Oh, yep.
So I just put out my hand, showing all the big dragons that are about to hit the board every time I attack with Dragon.
Yep.
And I would just say, "This one is next. What do you do?" And it just became this really weird thing of both of them trying to play to stop the big dragons from coming out, and me just going, here it is anyway.
Here it is anyway. Like, that's the thing. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, it's coming down. You know what I mean? Impromptu arch enemy. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, that's the best way to describe it.
So we have officially hit our second box. So we have hit a new foil etched card. And actually, Siren Song in the chat might remember this. This was the very first card I think they ever like looked at me and said, "I want to play this card. This card's really cool." It came in the Azuri structure deck, and it is Trigon Predator. I want Siren Song to go back to our past. Think about how many times Trigon Predator screwed me over. How many times? This card is absolutely phenomenal. So it's a flying 2/3 for 3. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. It's very, very, very good. It used to have a weird art where it was more like a manta ray, but now it's got a bit of a like dinosaur kind of, a pterosaur kind of design to it. So.
And it's still a beast? Ugh, needs to be...
Hey, what do you mean? It's an absolute beast.
It should be a dinosaur.
Oh, maybe, yeah. There's a logic there. It's supposed to be some kind of Simic hybrid. So you've got here a Draining Whelk, another one, a classic go-to. Nothing special about it, just a Draining Whelk.
Oh my god, I wrote Fraining Whelk.
Can you refrain from writing Fraining Whelk, okay?
Please?
Can you refrain from being so stupid?
Wow, no, don't say that.
No,
We're live.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh, Aven Mind Sensor.
Aven Mind Sensor. This is an uncommon. Got shifted back down to uncommon. So it was uncommon. Got shifted up to rare in Armoncat. Speaking of why that set.
For good reason.
For good reason. Definitely in the draft environment of that set. And then knocked back down. So very cool. Very cool. Another Thelonite Hermit. He's coming back. I like they're called Thelonite Hermits. Like as if they're like because he's Thelon and they're the Thelonites.
Thelon and the Thelonites. It's New Jersey and the Pussycats.
Basically, right? That's it. So some cool stuff. We got ourselves a time shifted Crystal Shard. So Crystal Shard is a cool card. I've used this card a lot in the past. It costs 3 to play. For 3, tap or a blue and tap. So it is a blue identity card. Return target creature to its owner's hand unless its controller pays 1. Now you could target your opponent's creature when they've tapped out and remove their threat from the board. You could force your opponent to spend 1 more mana so they can't Wrath of God you. Or you could put your own flash, like dual cast mage, or put your own like Yiva card back into your hand to either protect it or to recast it. You could put Dream Eater in a blue Sphinx deck, for example, back into your hand to then recast it on the same turn or a later turn. So there's some really cool stuff you could do with Crystal Shard, just to kind of see there. It's in the center of the board before I put it away. Prized Amalgam in the time shifted. Amazing zombie card, got released in Shadows over Innistrad. Very cool card.
One thing you'll notice if you're looking at the older borders, by the way, you'll see that anything that has like a graveyard related ability, like it triggers from the graveyard or can be cast from the graveyard, has a little gravestone in the top left hand corner.
So notice up here, there's that little gravestone that sits up there that has like the gravestone style effect. And then over here with Crystal Shard, for example, there's nothing there. It does not work in the graveyard. So that's interesting they did that. And it's not really a thing they've been readdressing though. They've not been really redoing that, I've not noticed.
It's really old school.
It's really old school. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. So we've got a Greater Gargadon.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Greater Gargadon.
Greater God.
Always wondered what that was, to be honest. We've got ourselves another Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Very nice, very nice.
If you're running mono black commanders, get on it.
Yeah, get on it. Urborg. Look, even if you're not, it goes in every deck. It's not actually a black card, by the way, because there's no black clips on it. So it's not even, it goes in every deck. There aren't very much benefit outside of a black deck because you kind of want to have things like Cryptghast and Nirkana Revenant to make use of it. But hey, and Cabal Coffers, of course. But there's lots of things you do. I know there are reasons you would do it outside of that. And I'm just not getting them on the top of my head right now. All right, I've got Palace Jailer in the Time Shifted. He's fine. Nothing too exciting, just a guy. He makes you the Monarch. And when he has battlefield, you can exile a creature by controls until an opponent becomes the Monarch. So if they take the Monarch from you, they get their creature back. But at the same time, why would you want to incentivize your opponent getting the Monarch off you? Like, it's already incentive enough because they're going to draw cards. Why give them their creature back? Like,
that's like a key politics card. You play that card to exile someone else's really big creature that's controlling the table.
Yep.
And now you have everyone going, oh, maybe we should not let that creature come back.
Well, that's it, right? But then the problem is I find that, like, then you got the guy who owns the big dragon who then drops his second dragon because I've played telepathy, I know what's in his hand, doesn't matter, it's a dragon every turn. And then he attacks me with his dragon and it's a Hellkite Ignited with haste, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that didn't work. But it was
But hey, those other two players become your friends for a little moment.
That's true, that's true. That's what it's all about. It's all about making friends here. We've got here a Vesuvan Shapeshifter. Goes crazy with Brine Elemental. Fun fact, Brine Elemental is in this draft. So you can Vesuvan Shapeshift to Brine Elemental combo and stop your opponent from untapping all their cards. Pretty crazy. In the draft, by the way. Both in blue. So pretty crazy. Pretty good. We've got ourselves here a Temur Battle Rage in the Time Shifted. Amazing card. Played in Feather. Played in Modern. Play Temur Battle Rage onto a Monastery Swift Spear and watch your opponents cry. We've got ourselves here
that was the Dragons of Tarkir Pro Tour.
That's it, basically, right? So we've got Radar, Heir to Keld.
Another Radar.
Another non-foil normal guy. We've then got Molten Rain. Molten Rain. Chocolate Rain.
I said that in like the Prince's Purple Rain. Molten Rain. Molten Rain.
I've been on a bit of a Tazon Day binge recently, so that's where I go. But I see the print. It's much cool. I've got a foil Arc Blade. Yeah, you totally think that's system. I like this card. It's cool. 5 mana, deal 2 damage to any target. It's that's way too expensive. It exiles it with 3 time counters on it, and you can suspend it. So every third turn, you just get to shock something, and it costs 3 mana when you first have suspended, and you just keep shocking them over and over again. It's a cute little card. Nothing too special, but it's there. So,
actually, would be a really fun card in Torbran.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like constantly be there. Like 3 mana removing someone's counter spell is also pretty good in a mono red deck.
Yeah, that's definitely right. That's definitely right. You can just keep, and it's just like consistent pressure, and that's what like these red decks really do need to keep themselves like above water. We got ourselves a Life and Limb, another one. Purple rain, purple rain. See, I didn't do the Prince one because now that's stuck in my head. Rebuff the Wicked.
All right, hang on. I'm having an issue.
Quick speed round. Cruiser Grip, Subidol, Hedron Archive, Tusker the Goldfang.
Stop.
Okay. You gotta wait till he's tired and busy.
No, I don't want original Time Spiral.
But I want it.
But I want it. Okay. Life and Limb. We've got a second one. Update. All right.
We're good to go.
It's Rebuff the Wicked. Rebuffing its wicked head.
Wicked has been rebuffed.
All right. We have, I think, 2 of these here. Just hiding array. Yep. I've got copies of Joyra of the Gitu in her original artwork. So 2 copies of Joyra of the Gitu. Very cool commander. If you never versed, they're really different colors as well. One's quite saturated, one's quite pink.
Good, fun suspend commander.
Yeah, sorry for making you yawn again. God,
Yeah.
I'm so yawny at the
You're
big
making me
day.
yawn.
Big day. What time is it now? Far out. 4:30. Gosh darn. All right. It's a very, very cool. Oh, sorry if you're on YouTube. The time now currently is 4:23 p.m. All right.
It's
So
sorry if you're watching this on YouTube. The time is currently whatever it says on your
whatever
phone.
it says on your phone or device. And you gotta hope that's right because who knows if they're lying to you. So anyway, Joy the Gucci, 2 of them, very cool cards. Suspend your cards away and cast big spells for free. Huge. Alesha, Time Shifted, who smiles at death. Cypress and I were talking about this commander recently. One of our favorite commanders, Mardu Reanimate, really, really cool. Good friend of mine, Brenton Clark, plays a lot of Alesha, plays it as the main decks. It's a very, very cool deck. I've seen it do some mad stuff. Sengia Nosferatu.
Another one.
Yeah. It's interesting that
Another Bat Boy.
Another Bat Boy. Another Bat Boy. Another Bat Boy. It's an intangible virtue next in the Time Shifted. Creature tokens get +1/+1 in Vigilance is very, very good. Giving stuff Vigilance en masse, like a board-wide Vigilance, is really, really, really underrated. I really think people should be more wary of that kind of stuff. So we've got Flagstones of Trakan next.
Another one.
Another one, another legendary land. Legendary land, legendary land. See what I mean?
It's in your head.
It's in my head. It gets it. That one line gets in your head and you're like, well, now that's it. That's my life now. That's where I am. All right. Sorry if you're on YouTube or you're on Twitch and that's now stuck in your head because so it should be. We have Ninja of the Deep Hours in the Time Shifted, non-foil. I actually managed to pull a foil one of these when the set first dropped, which was very cool.
We have a foil one up for sale.
Oh, maybe that's where I remember it from then. Maybe it wasn't mine. Maybe it was the stores. Maybe we pulled it through the store.
Yeah, that
That
could
could
be it.
explain it,
That's
right?
probably it, right
That
there.
can explain it. Yeah. It's all a big blur, guys. Leave me alone. It's a big blur. All right. So we've got Field of Ruin in the Time Shifted.
No, don't show me errors. Show me love. All right, it's updated.
Show me love like her. We've got Walk the Eons once more. I'm about to walk these eons into the ground.
Cool.
Alrighty, next we've got...
Mangara says, how many copies of that do I need?
Exactly. Get a full playset. You can never go wrong. Just put all 4 in your commander deck, and your opponent's like, bro, how did you get another one? You're like, I buybacked it. Duh.
I was walking the eons.
I was walking the eons. What you do is you cast it, you then flick it out of your graveyard onto the floor so no one can see it, and then you play a next one, and then they go, what's that? And you're like, bought it back. Like, how else would I get it? And they go, oh, yeah, I should have been paying more attention.
Vault does not condone cheating.
That is not at all what we condone here. That was a joke, both for legal reasons and for ethics reasons. People shouldn't. Not everything's for legal reasons, guys. Come on. Sometimes it's just ethical to not to goad your players into cheating. By the way, Trent. Simeon, Spirit Guide. Who's the real Simeon? Is it Trent? Yes, it is. Actually, deep down, guys, we're all pretty Simeon, if you think about it. Deep down. Deep down, I don't have a prehensile tail, so pulmonic sliver. It's prehensile the word I'm looking for. That's the one way you can move it, right?
Where you can hold on to things.
Yeah. God, I wish.
Oh my god, I wrote Pulmonic Silver.
Wow, that's a classic rookie mistake. You say you run a card shop. Well, actually, no, you don't. You say you run a hobby store. You say you run a hobby store, and you're out here not knowing how to spell silver. Grain Merchant of Asphodel.
Gary!
Gary in the Time Shifted. A classic blunder from the D-Man. A classic blunder from Dodge Dench. All right, so we've got my favorite card from the whole set. As you know, guys, best card. It's Muraganda. I said it right this time. Petroglyphs. 3/3 saplings and 5/5 beasts. I don't know what it does. I'm about to get beat. And then we got a foil.
That's literally how it goes.
That's literally how it goes. Sengia Nosferatu. Here's the thing, right? It does not give them trample, so it's like... But if it gave them trample, they wouldn't have no abilities, so pretty hard to do. The foil of the normal one, not the Time Shifter one. Then, another Crossing Grip. Guys, these aren't very expensive either. These are fairly cheap in the store. So, they're only like, what, $1?
Yeah.
Yeah, get your hands on them, guys. Pick up some Crossing Grips, only $1 each. Put them in your orders. Come along to Vault Games, and if you have to buy yourself a small coffee for $4, get yourself a Crossing Grip for the FPOS minimum. You know what I'm saying? Pick yourself up one. Easy peasy. All right, so then I've got a Stuffy Doll. Stuffy Doll's cool. big fan of stuffed doll. Big fan, you know. As a fully grown 24-year-old man, I don't condone playing with dolls, but I do like Warhammer. Patron Archive in the Time Shifted. Siren Song redeemed Hydrate. First of all, thank goodness, because I really do need a second drink. I do need a drink, actually. I think I was quite dehydrated this morning, and I think I'm feeling it now. I'm not kidding. Like, I think I actually do need a drink. So. I'm looking at Dylan at the moment, chat. I can't tell if he's face palming himself because I'm talking, or he's looking very intently at his device. Oh, could have been both. Siren Song says, got you. You know what, Siren Song? You do got me. All right, guys, can we spam hydrate in the chat, please? Oh, we can't. We can't. Actually, I'm glad to hear Siren Song's hydrate is working again, because I remember it wasn't working for a while there. Right in time, too. Because I was about to pass out. So right in time, too. Truly blessed, yes you are. I'm blessed by having you in my life, Siren Song. I'm blessed by having you in my life, chat. I'm blessed by having you in my life, Dylan. Sorry,
thanks, buddy, but open some cards.
Yeah, sorry. I just finished my drink and Dylan's been patiently waiting and I just had to skull that thing. So, we have... This card I've actually never seen this card before. I mean, I have probably in the past, but never really read it. It's called Porphyry Nodes. I know. Porphyry Nodes.
It's alright, I'll just write Porf. At the beginning of upkeep, destroy the creature with the least power. It can't be regenerated. If 2 or more creatures are tied, choose one. When there are no creatures on the battlefield, sacrifice it.
That is a really good card.
Oh!
That is a 1 mana enchantment. That is really good. If you're playing like mono white weenies, like Soul Sisters, or oh, you know what? Imara. You know that 2-drop Imara? You play like the mono white weenies and just kill any. They can't resolve cards, and you can just sacrifice a single 1/1 every turn. You don't care. We'll destroy a single 1/1 every turn. You don't care. Wow, that's really good. Yes. Get on the singles website. Use your code LEADLINE. 10% off your first purchase. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sanguine Bond in the Time Shifted. It's been time shifted and it's cool. It's been time shifted and the shifted is timed. Now we've got here a lab man. We talked about him a lot, but what does Laboratory Maniac actually do? Dylan, can you run us through what Laboratory Maniac actually does?
If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead.
Wait, why does it say instead, Dylan? What would
Because
happen
you would
normally?
lose the game if you have to draw and there's no
normally
cards.
lose, and this says
You win instead.
you win.
Look, it has the words "win the game" on it, so it's auto include in blue anyway.
Win the game. Yeah, you don't have any options, right? You kind of have to find cards like this.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people are like, I'm so sick of being Labman and Darius' Oracle. It's like, well, unfortunately, the color doesn't have many other ways to get there.
Would you prefer to be expropriated and wait another 8 turns for it to happen, or you want it to go now?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to call time or money? Like, come on. All right, it's another copy of Tombstalker. I don't know the value of Tombstalker in the sense of, like, I don't know how good it is in the game. I don't think it's all that viable, but it's very good in the draft environment. And honestly, I think that if you're going to be triggering things like, what's it called? Sunbirds, it's obviously really good in that example. So maybe like a Sunbirds focused Mardu Demons deck that you search it with like your idyllic tutors and then get to it really quickly and force it out and then play a bunch of cheaper demons. Could do something pretty neat. Plus you could play that that Bedlam Reveler we mentioned before, who also gets cheaper in that Mardu deck. So it's pretty cool. Why don't we check it out?
Oh, okay. I was just looking at it.
Oh yeah, it's just a Dell creature with no abilities. No real abilities. We've got a Secret Plans. This card is a morph staple. Whenever opponent controls a turn face up, draw a card. Very good. Very good. And they got Time Shifted Wastes. What a waste of a time shift. No, I'm kidding. This card's amazing. Wastes are very cool.
Are very good.
Fun fact, if you
That's
did
a
not...
$3 card.
It is. If you did not know, fun fact, wastes are not a basic land type. They do not count as a basic land type. They are a basic land, so you can search the basic land. But for example, there's a card called Myriad Landscape, which says for 2 generic, you may tap and sack it, search for 2 cards from your deck that, like 2 basic lands that share the same land type and play them onto the battlefield tapped. You actually cannot play a wastes with it. You cannot play 2 wastes with that.
Really?
Yep, because they do not share a basic land type.
Because they're just called
They're
basic
just
lands.
called basic land. They do not share a basic land type. They have they're not
Oh,
waste type.
they're not a waste type.
They do not have a right. Isn't that really interesting?
That's awkward. I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah, so they do not have a basic land type. They are just basic land, not wastes. So very, very cool. While you look that up, I'm gonna get some more cards.
Wastes.
Stop in the wastes of love.
Because it's a basic land, you can include as many as you like in your constructed decks. In limited events, though, including sealed deck and booster draft, waste must be in your card pool to be included in your deck. You can't add waste to your card pool in the same way you can add other basic lands. I hate that ruling. I would love
That's actually crazy.
I would love to run a limited event where you have waste as a basic option.
Yeah, I mean, like if it was in the store, we could definitely do it.
Yeah.
It's just that intrinsically, it's not.
And there, waste is not a land type. If something asks you to name a land type, you can't choose waste. Because waste is a name, not a land type.
Yep. See how crazy is that? A lot of people do not know that. That's whack. See, Sirensong knows that. For those of you watching this on YouTube, on Twitch, or wherever you are, that is a new little fact you may not have known that you may know now. And you know what? If you're like Declan Cameron and you do know that, then you know what? You're based. Because you already knew that, and I knew you already knew that because you know how to play the game very well. So it's a little tidbit a lot of people don't know, but it's an interesting one. I mean, for a long time I thought colorless, the plip colorless, I thought that was actually a color, a type of color, but it's not. So that's also interesting. And that's obviously because it's called colorless, but sure. Yeah, for a long time. Ooh, rookie. It's a cool top deck. All right. Oh, I just saw that. Yeah, this, but I'm over here now. So we got ourselves a Ancient Den, which is time-shifted. Time-shifted white artifact land. SRAM decks love it. Doctors hate it. There's one weird trick to get an artifact straight from your deck. How to ramp in white. Ancient Den. We've got another Dryad Arbor. Amazing card. Get on the website, guys. Use the code Leeline on your first purchase. 10% off your first purchase. Get yourself some Dryad Arbors and Green Suns them. They're very good. You can also use Quarter Calling. Tap 3 creatures to play Dryad Arbor from deck. Cool options, cool options. We've got a time-shifted epic experiment. X and a blue and a red for exile the top X cards of your library. You may cast instant and sorcery spells with converted mana cost X or less from among them without paying the mana costs. Then put all cards exiled away that weren't cast into your graveyard. So exiles them, cast them from exile. It's very cool. What do we look at, Dylan?
I was looking where it was from.
It's from
Return to Ravnica.
Yeah, it's a
RTL. Because I remember it was in the 2015 experience counters deck.
Oh, it was too. Yeah, it wasn't the
Mizzix?
Mizzix. Yeah, it wasn't the Mizzix. It's very good in Mizzix for sure.
Yeah, Mizzix.
Goes off in Mizzix. We've got a Mages of the Moon. It's a non-foil Mages. Very good though. Nonetheless, very, very good.
Another Magus.
And we've got another time-shifted Tricon Paradigm, this time in the non-foil.
Cool.
I've got a time-shifted Leeline of the Void here.
Ooh.
In the old art as well. The
Thank God.
ancient art, amazing. Yeah, not a big fan of the new one. But yeah, very, very good. You can see him like sitting there and you see all the different Leelines going.
Not a big fan of the artist.
It's oh yeah, that's right, absolutely. I forgot all about that. The other Void coming out, very, very cool. We've got ourselves here a Swarmyard, another one. Swarmyard always showing up. If you're the kind of person who wants to play like a Marrow Nora deck, Swarmyard's going to be very important for you. And I've got a Sylvan Scrying next as my time shifted, which is search your library for a land card, put it into your hand. Seems really bad to put lands in your hand. When you realize it's non-basic land, it becomes very, very good. There are some modern decks that really, really care about Sylvan Scrying. They go looking for very specific lands with it. You could go looking for Dryad Arbor. It's an option too. So we've got here another Glittering Wish. That's just going straight into the system. We've got ourselves a Pauper Powerhouse in the form of Gurmag Angler. Pauper Powerhouse. Amazing card. Big,
actually, yeah, that's
fat
one thing I've
Pauper.
noticed is they have time shifted a few Pauper cards as well.
Great news. It's great to see them like actually.
Probably because a good chunk of the good Pauper cards are all boarded as well.
If everything in the Gurmag Swamp hungers for human flesh, what bait would be more effective? Could be more effective. Zombie fish.
Oh, it's have a look at the angle.
Yeah,
angle
it's a
on it.
little guy.
It's a little dude.
See, he's making it look like a human. I'm
Oh, I'm
surprised
just
how, like,
walking
wormy he
along
looks.
here. Oh.
I'm sure it does. I like to imagine. Have you ever seen Annihilation on Netflix?
Yeah.
So it reminds me of like the bear that can scream like human sounds. I imagine this thing can scream like human sounds and make it sound like they're running from something. And then you go to help them, and then you grab their hand to help them, and they. I think there's some really cool theme on that. Another Giant Ballard, Task Mage. Again, very minigame heavy. 3 different activated abilities that all burn. Thanks, Red. I have here a time-shifted Stinkweed Imp. Which is an amazing card. He has that little cool graveyard icon because he's a dredge card. When he does combat damage to a creature, you destroy that creature.
He's stinky.
We do have an amazing suspend card called Ancestral Vision. Lets you play Ancestral Recall, but it's a suspend card. It's very, very
It's
good.
essentially Ancestral Recall when you're playing Cascade.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen a lot of times. It's been a lot of times my opponent has like cascaded into this and
Cascadal Vision.
Cascadal Visions. We then have a Yorgmoth Grand Physician in the Time Shifted.
Just a regular?
Just a regular guy. He's just a regular guy. He's
Oh,
amazing.
Nice.
Then we've got ourselves. You may notice now we're getting into some pretty amazing cards. We've hit the end of Trent's kind of backlog here. We've got ourselves a Gemstone Caverns. Amazing legendary land gem. That's a legendary. There you go. Amazing Gemstone Caverns. So that card's really good. Get it really, really early in the game and you're set for life. So get it really early. Go for it. We've now got a time-shifted copy of Tasigur the Golden Fang, who looks just amazing.
Just the regular?
Just the regular. He looks awesome. Well, he's time-shifted.
Pretty fun commander.
He's a really fun commander. He's a very good commander. There's no doubt about it. I've got another Harmonic Sliver just chilling here.
Oh, another Harmonic?
Harmonic. Yeah, he's a very good commander. He's definitely like a CDH level commander. Anything that's like it's Sultai, it's pure value. It's very easy to
Needs to be
use.
built into, though. One of those commanders that you can't just like pick up and start playing without thinking about the deck that's going around it.
Yeah, he doesn't have so much a strategy by himself. He helps enable other types of strategies, which is my favorite kind of commander, where it's like I'm kind of not. I wouldn't say like I'm sick of, but I think that it's kind of.
He's probably one of the few
derivative.
like competitive style commanders though that don't fit the staple mold.
Well,
because you need to build around it.
Exactly, yeah. It's not the king of its own deck. It doesn't need to be cast to win the game. Like it's not like Urza where it's like I have to see this card to win. It's not like Kinnan where it's like I have to see this card to win. It's like Yawgmoth's like Tasigur is like Yawgmoth's a great example of another commander. It's like I need this card to resolve to win. Baral is one of those commanders where I feel like he can kind of be a little like, supporting role.
Yeah.
Same with Tasigur, but obviously Tasigur is way more supporting. We've got Mangara of Corondor, another copy of Mangara here, just chilling, nothing special about him. Except that he's awesome. Duh. Come on, guys.
We're in the final stretch.
We're in the final stretch. We're down to our very last 4 boosters. We're going to go down 2. Dylan and I are going to do a little love tap, and then we're going to crack them open. All right, so we've got here... Oh, that was an unfortunate pack. All right, we've got a Path to Exile here in the Time Shifted.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice. Very pretty. Very cool. No foil, but very cool. Can you imagine a path? Oh, how much?
$104.
$104 for the foil. So Time Spiral has some really like Time Spiral. These foil time shifted cards kind of remind me of the invocations and the inventions.
Yeah,
They're
newer cards that have been pushed back. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not unique cards, and they're obviously newer cards pushed back, not older cards pushed forward. But they're still like in that same vein of rarity to me and value. I see that like kind of rarity and value. I've got like a Banishing Light. It's fine. It's in the time shifted, so chuck it in. It's nothing too special.
It's a good mono white card.
It's 3 mana. It's okay. It reminds me a lot of O-Ring, but it's not as good as O-Ring. It's another O-Ring though.
It's fixed O-Ring.
It's fixed O-Ring. If you want to go heavy into Oblivion Ring, you can look up Oblivion Ring at home, and if you're playing those kind of decks, they're really, really cool. I can get behind them, especially those like Enchantress style decks. I can see Banishing Light and cards like it going into that new Sithis from One Horizons 2.
Yep.
And going heavy into and also there's like also a Theros card. You can see the Theros like art all over it with that big fucking creature she's smiting there. So very, very cool. It's a big Hydra that she's smiting there. Actually, that might be a big important part of the lore. Anyway, Fungus Sliver. I think that might be the fight with what's his name, Polykranos, when they banished him to the underworld. But I can't remember.
Sorry, I was writing on the wrong. Fungus
Sliver. This is a Felon of Havenwood Sliver. That's what they call it, the Felon of Havenwood Sliver.
Almost done.
We are almost gonna be done. That is to everyone at home. Oh, I got a foil fungus liver just then.
Oh,
just
did you?
chuck that one in.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's got a foil fungus liver. So that's pretty cool. I'll show it to the chat. Foil.
Ooh,
Foily
rainbowy.
fungus. Rainbowy, foily fungus liver. Very cool, very cool. That's for the Pat Baxter in the chat. That's for Pat. Get in on that if you're here. Definitely get on that one. All right, so I'd like to also just like quickly before we keep going, I just want to mention Sarcomite Mia. Don't put this in the thing. There's a 3-mana 2/1 Mia. It gains flying for 2 mana to end turn, and you can pay 2 and sack it to draw a card. I think this guy is a clue now as well. I think this guy is a clue now, and he has.
Oh, is he really?
I think so. I think so because the other one had clue, right? The Parcel Mer. Did
Yeah.
Sarcomite Mer get the clue treatment? Because that'd be really cool if he did. He's got the clue effect.
No, he's a Phyrexian Mer.
Oh, he's a Phyrexian Mia now. Okay, that's still really cool. So the Sarcomite Mia is now a Phyrexian. That's still a cool update. Interesting that this isn't. Oh no, okay, this is older than Kaldheim now. So
Yeah, Parcel Mer
Parcel
is
Mer
a clue Mer.
is the clue Mia. That's the new one though, right? That just got printed recently.
Yep.
Yeah, so it got printed like so it's like a baby Sarcomite, but this is a Phyrexian, so still very cool. It's all these erratas of creature types and subtypes that are really cool. We've got a Serra Avenger, just chilling. Once again. All right, we've got a Manifold Key in the Time Spiral.
Oh, cool.
Shifted, yeah, very cool. Time Shifted Manifold Key lets you untap artifacts and give creatures unblockable. It's very, very good. It's obviously a far better version of. There's another key that does it that doesn't give unblockable. It's the exact same card, so it's a factual update. I try to remember the name of it, but it's I took my brain.
I remember making like a key deck around it.
Yeah, Manifold Key is the more updated version though. I think the idea of making things unblockable is supposed to be like a skull key kind of thing, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Kind of skeleton key kind of deal. Nether Trader comes back out, rears his ugly head again. Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Yeah, I had a few keys in my Ramos deck
Oh, that's really cool.
when
Yeah,
I did
like
Daughter
that.
Nothingness.
Of course, yeah, of course. Then you've got your Slaughter Pact, rearing its head again. We've got a Mortify in this Time Shifted. That's a great card. Destroying enchantments in Orzhov is very useful. Heartwood Storyteller, once more, another copy of this. And then I've got another copy here of the Time Shifted Evolutionary Leap.
Another one.
A bunch of copies of this cards you've already had. Some new stuff though.
It's a solid one if you're playing like green white or green black tokens.
I love it. I think the card's really, really good. Definitely shows up. I've got here the Time Shifted Chalice of the Void. Amazing card. Huge play in Modern for this card. This card's massive.
The background of the text box makes it look foil.
It kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah, like here, yeah, it kind of does. But no, and this is a very, very valuable card. Very valuable. So get your hands.
Modern staple.
Get your hands on Chalice of the Void. This card has been like absolutely ridiculous since its release. And then lastly, what Time Spiral opening would it be if we didn't pull a Tarmogoyf? What Time Spiral opening would it be if they didn't get a Tarmogoyf, guys? Of course we got a Tarmogoyf. Do not worry your ugly butts about it. And your beautiful butts, because not all butts are ugly. God, I love Tarmogoyf. Look at this guy. Look at his fat mouth.
Nom 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 nom.
Dude, Tarmogoyf that gives sloppy head got to be my favorite gender, I'm telling you. Look at this guy. All right, so now, Dylan, we got 2 packs left. Put your hand on that pack so they can see it. And boom! Crack it open. Let's see it. Now, this is a competition. Whoever wins this doesn't have to put these all into the physical inventory. Let's go! Let's go. Let's see it. I got
Are we going with like the most value?
the most value.
All right.
How much value we can get from it. You got a homing sliver, that's cool. Already in,
Rift
already in.
Bolt.
Rift Bolt, that's pretty cool. So my commons were useless, and my rares were useless. And my
Joe's
sorry.
Time Box pretty good.
That's a great card. Love Choice Time Box. How'd you go? Oh, a silence. Oh, you're kidding. All right, guys. All right. For those in chat, they didn't get a chance to see that yet. So I'm going to show this off right now.
You can start stacking them.
I'll start with mine because I did not win this round. I managed to get myself a Time Shifted Trinket Mage. Very cool.
Well, Trigger Mage is still pretty good.
Trinket Mage is still really good.
Dad spent $2 on that.
It's I'd buy that for $1. Oh no, that was one that's been sitting here. My one that I opened was foil.
Oh, there was a non-foil
Yeah.
one just
There was a non-foil one that I've been sitting here.
sitting there that you didn't tell me about.
Well, it was from the last set of cards, but yeah, I pulled the foil Trinket Mage.
All right. So the foil trinket mage. Did you actually pull? The
I
foil?
did actually stop.
All right. So it's $49.50.
$49.50. Ooh, okay.
Ooh, did you win off
can,
that
Well, you
alone?
can add that to my Pact of Negation.
$14.50.
All right, so we're at $53.50.
No, it was more than that. It's $63.50. $14.50 plus $49.50.
Oh, I thought you said $39.50. Sorry, my apologies. My apologies. I was like, what? That's 30. That's what?
So you're at $63.50.
$63.50 so far.
No, you're more than that. 64.
60.
You're at 64.
64. Sure. All right. Dylan pulled himself the time shifted silence. I love. Oh, this has a different flavor text. Take a quiet moment to reflect on your sins. That's a classic. There's my favorite flavor text of this card is like all of the magic in the world has to come out of one small, easily closed opening. It's my favorite
All
flavor
right,
text.
so that's $6.50.
And now this, we're going to talk about some other cards we got here. Pulled out a Joyous Time Bug. Joyous Time Bug's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a cool card.
I'm not going to put it in.
No, I don't think you should either. We got a Rift Bolt. That's a cool Pauper Stable. Big fan of Rift Bolt. That will go in even if it's not worth a lot. Then we've got Homing Sliver. We saw a couple of these. These haven't really seen way into our inventory yet, but we'll chuck one in there. It's a cool card. It's a great card. Gives all slivers cycling. Amazing card. And then finally, why Dylan was so happy, and genuinely why we were all very happy here. Got to contact Pat about this. It's a Sliver Legion in that awesome new age border with that new header. And how much does Sliver Legion come to, Dylan?
$28.50.
$28.50.
No. Trent wins.
Trent wins.
All because he pulled
All
that
because of that foil trinket
trinket
mage.
mage.
I was like, wait, it's worthless. That can't be right. And I looked at my hand. I'm like, oh, actually, very cool. Very cool.
You won by $28.50.
$28. I won by the price of Sliver Legion.
Of a Sliver Legion.
Very cool card though. Well played, my friend.
Oh.
Silver Medal is rating with a
Party of 38. What is
thank you
up,
so
Silver
much,
Medal?
Silver Medal Tavern. You have actually caught us right at the end of our stream today. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Awesome. Thanks, Streamlabs, as well. What is up, guys? Yes, spam that. Raid. Cheers, Silver Medal Talent.
Yeah, thanks, Silver Medal.
We have just pulled ourselves a Sliver Legion from Time Spiral Cracker Box. We just pulled ourselves a foil Trinket Mage, which came in the special foil edition, time shifted. What is up, Silver Medal?
Legends
I love
DM,
playing
I love
magic.
playing Magic.
Thanks, Legends DM.
Thank you so much.
We love playing Magic with you guys. We love playing Magic.
If you guys want to see more, by the way, welcome Raiders. If you want to see more from us, you can always click that follow button. Get notified every time we go live. We do streams for D&D. We do streams for board games, Marvel Champions, Flesh and Blood, Warhammer, Time Spiral, Magic Gathering, like box openings. All that is here on Vault Games Live and also on our YouTube channel. And you can always join our Discord at the link that is in the chat.
Legend TM says, I've been here a couple of times. Thanks, Legend.
Thanks,
We love
Legend,
you
so much.
We absolutely make
Oh my
two
gosh.
Pact of Negations over here. Very nice. Look at that. So you got the Tarmogoyf, the classic Time Spiral opening. You got the Chalice of the Void. I love Magic. I need to watch these VODs. My draft skills suck. Oh, trust us. Our draft skills suck.
Oh, my draft sucks so well. If you watch any of our arena VODs, it's
so funny. It's so funny.
I'm so bad.
Dylan's bad, but he's great. He's great to watch on the
I think
arena
I 7'd once.
Yeah, ever. But it was great. I had excellent Magic Arena draft tournament last night. Went 7 wins and 1 loss. My deck was so fun. Yes. I missed my Power 9, Just says. Oh my goodness, I would too. I would miss my Power 9 too. Oh my lord. Hey, if there's any consolation, Ancestral Recall, Ancestral Visions, you know, tomato, as they say in the business. So we got Leeline the Void chilling here. We got that foil. What happened to the Power 9? Just go. What happened? What happened to it? We've got that's it's my little emote there, and the guy that's me, guys, in the chat for those who are new. I got the Trigon Predator here as well in the time shifted foil. So that's the time shifted foil. We've got the Thought Seas and the Kiki Chiki. They've both made their appearances. I think out of the 3 boxes we opened today,
Do we get 4 foils?
we got 3 of the time-shift foils. So 1 per box. Just like Deckham said, it was 1 per box. They turned into 140k and 140k minis in...
Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
I want Fantasy Battle, sorry, minis in 100. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, great news, just great news. We've been Siren Song in the chat. We've been getting into 40k a lot ourselves. Like, I've been playing it for a while. I didn't have a Black Lotus or a White Mox, but had the rest. So the power 7. Power 7.
Got to play in a sponsored Magic team for a year. It was an excellent experience. Oh, that's great to hear,
That's
Legends.
awesome, Legends. That's so cool.
We're actually looking into like what the logistics around possibly sponsoring some form of team from Vault.
Yeah, for a lot of Magic games too, not just Magic, but
Yeah, now that it's starting to open up a little bit more around here in Australia.
Yeah, we're starting to get
In
back
some parts.
in some parts.
Cool. So you can pick up all these cards online at singles.vaultgames.com.au. Use the discount code Leyline to get 10% off your first purchase. Thanks so much for joining us for the stream. We're just finishing up now. Thank you, Trent, for going through and opening all those cards, and thank me
you, Dylan.
for going to go file them all in the next hour. Thanks so much for watching us. If you're watching this on Twitch, you can follow us. Click that follow button, get notified every time we go live. You can join our Discord server and chat with us. And all the other gamers from around the world that make up part of the Vault Games community. We also, if you're watching this on YouTube in the VOD after the fact, click like, hit subscribe, feed the algorithm gods. Yes, Siren Song says the Bob Ross painting stream. Yes,
Of
we
course.
did reach our 50 subscriber goal last week.
We did.
So we will have our Bob Ross painting stream in next week. We're going to be painting up minis looking like Bob Ross.
It's going to be so exciting.
Channeling the man himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. Thanks so much, everyone. Stay safe. Wash your goddamn hands. Let's go raid someone.
Yeah.
I've got a friend, Damon Master. He's playing Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment right now. But he is also an old store owner and a friend of mine. So we're going to go raid him.
Yeah, woohoo! Let's go see what he's up to, boys. Thanks so much for stopping by again. Thank you so much.
Have fun, everyone.
Have
Enjoy the
fun.
raid.
Is that Toby?
Yes, Toby.
Dude! I miss Toby from Golf. So are we live?
No,
Oh, okay. I was like just sitting here like dead quiet, like, what's going on? I don't know what rating means.
idea.